We're talking about is licking toads to get high. Now, for years, various Indians have...
I didn't mean to do that. I almost played my my toad licking video. Oh, Dr. Tapioca Weasel's here too. Hello, and welcome to the Hive, everybody. This is my first time doing an open panel, so let me know how the audio and everything sounds good out there. And thank you for joining us. I got Sam Jenkins here from Creation Research. He's their producer, editor. He's also one of their regular panelists. And it looks like I got Dr. Tapioca Weasel, the, or should I say, Dr. Vandergraff. Welcome to the panel, guys.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing all right. You all ready to get weird with it tonight?
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it. I think Maya said her power's been out, so I don't think we're going to be streaming today.
Okay, well that sucks.
Yeah.
That really does suck. Well, she wants to come in on her phone or anything, she's definitely welcome. I sent her a link. If she just wants to pop in to say hi. I know she likes this paranormal kind of dives and stuff as well. So let's see here. How am I gonna do this? We're gonna do. There we are. All right, so this is Crater Lake Mysteries. Explore. So
why is it called Crater Lake? I can't possibly imagine.
Probably because it's a crater, I would assume.
Is it a lake made out of craters, or is it a crater of? Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna learn all about it, guys. Don't worry. There's mysteries, but we're gonna explore them. If you see, it's right here in the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Here we go.
The stunningly beautiful natural wonder located
gotta turn
in
that up.
southern Oregon, surrounded by towering cliffs and pristine forests. While it is a popular tourist destination for its picturesque vistas and crystal clear waters, it is also known for its mysterious deaths and paranormal activity. Legend has it that the lake was formed by a massive eruption of Mount Mazama, a nearby volcano, which occurred thousands of years ago.
Does legend have
the
it, or does
eruption was so
geology have
intense that it caused the
Did he say legend? Because you think it'd probably be geology. I would imagine.
You'd think you'd probably be able to just dig and find volcanic rock, and then it would just be like, oh yeah, there's an eruption here.
Oh yeah, or more specifically, volcanology, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not to be confused with Spock doing the ears and the hand. Volcanology with an O. VU.
top of the mountain to collapse, creating a massive caldera that was eventually filled with water from rain and snow. Over the years, Crater Lake has been the site of several strange and unexplained deaths, leading some to believe that the lake is cursed or haunted. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1940.
And this is like we're getting like we're starting off and hitting the ground running with some like missing 411 stuff. Are you both of you guys familiar with the missing 411 concept? Because I can explain it before we go any further. If not,
explain it.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm happy to wing it if you want, but probably best if you did explain it.
Let me break it down in just the simplest terms. Okay, so there's an author named David Paulides. He's a former police officer and also a bit of a cryptozoologist and a Bigfoot guy. But he was an investigator, and he started this investigation into what he considered patterns of disappearances under the exact same circumstances in national parks all around the world, right? I shouldn't say around the world, because he started just in the U.S., right? And then he started building these maps and these infographs and things to kind of lay it all out and see these recurring themes that run through all of them. And that theme is basically what they call the missing 411. And they explored it more, and they applied it to different areas, all over the globe. They've applied it to these reserve areas, to nature reserves, mostly to wild places that are protected wild places, especially. So that there's this notion that something unnatural is happening to these people, and this idea that there's some kind of unseen force, nefarious government, interdimensional travelers, aliens, monsters, whatever it is that's taking people. It's been linked to Bigfoot, wild men, subterranean civilizations. It's all sorts of weird shit that's been attached into it over the years. But the core of it is David Paulides' works, which is the Missing 411 book series, which never makes any of the supernatural claims or any of the UFO stuff. It does, however, have the stories like the Dennis Martin disappearance, where there are inferences that make it seem like maybe like a Bigfoot or something took this child, but that's in the Smokies, and we're at Crater Lake right now. So let's focus on Crater Lake. Crater Lake, like all these other parks, has this lore about it that they looked into and said all these people disappeared here under these circumstances. That should be a good groundwork for what we're going to cover going forward. All right, let's move forward, gentlemen.
1945 when a Navy bomber crashed into the lake, killing all 8 crew members on board. Despite an extensive search, the wreckage was not found until several years later, and some believe that the crash was the result of supernatural forces. In addition to these mysterious deaths, including those associated with the missing 411 phenomena, there have also been reports of paranormal activity around the lake, including sightings of ghostly apparitions and strange lights in the sky. Some believe that the lake is a portal to another dimension, while others speculate that it is home to...
See, we use a lot of weasel words here, and you'll notice this in these paranormal videos. Some believe, a lot of people say, or
I
the
feel
local...
attacked.
Yeah.
Weasel words? What?
Yeah.
Like Weasley, like
How dare you?
Oh, I see what you mean.
That's the terminology. Is that term derogatory? Because I was talking to my dog the other day about the term dog whistle, and I thought maybe I was asking if it was offensive, and the dog kind of seemed to think that. I don't speak fluent like dogs speak with motions and eyebrow movements and stuff. I got the impression that my dog was telling me it didn't like that the term dog whistle meant what it did. So I get that now, and here I am using the term weasel words, and I have literally a weasel on my camera, at least 3 weasels in a suit, right? That's the situation.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, so but either way, and I use that kind of language. So is the terminology weasel words just offensive?
No, I'm just screwing with you.
Okay.
We're a very small community, and it's something that weasels get really upset with other weasels about, because we got to make our own drama somehow.
Right, I get that. Same communities are like that.
To ancient spirits or supernatural creatures. Despite the eerie stories surrounding Crater Lake, many visitors come to the area for its natural beauty and outdoor recreation opportunities.
And I would love to go to Crater Lake, by the way. And Maya's in the side chat. Hey, sweetie. I would love to go to Crater Lake. First, I should ask, has anybody here been to Crater Lake?
I have not.
Okay.
I rarely go outside my front door, so no.
Yeah, okay. I know we have Nathaniel from Divine Disbelief that lives up in that region. Have you been there? Oh my gosh, we have.
Oh boy!
Did you see who just showed up in the side chat?
Yeah, and I mean, I have to agree, without the ability to ultimately substantiate the fundamental substrate of your logical argumentation and the basis of all facts, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well just shut it all down. Ultimate grounding and silver plates. Oh my goodness, this is getting intense. I'm. Should we just kill the stream now? This isn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's done.
I think we've been epistemologically destroyed. So
yeah. So without any kind of grounding, can we even assess what's happening at Crater Lake? I don't even know how us or David Paulides or anybody without that grounding.
Hiking, camping, and fishing are popular activities, and the lake is also a favorite spot for boating and swimming in the summer.
And yeah, Nathan just said, yeah, he's been there. So he says it's beautiful. It looks beautiful. I mean, look at it, right? picturesque. It's probably that water.
It really is.
That water's probably
It's beautiful.
freaking freezing.
It really is.
Yeah.
Look at that blue. It's fantastic.
Look at that white sand on the edge there with the blue.
It's not something I normally associate with a lake, you know?
Yeah. Really gorgeous.
It just looks like a massive, like, great big piece of blue, like acrylic or something, doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's been playing with the
legends
exposure and saturation on this one.
You think so? I've seen some of these these cold waters out west, though. Like in the ones I saw were in Colorado, but the water is really blue and clear like this. It's bizarre looking. You've never seen water that looks this blue in real life?
No.
Okay.
Not as blue as that, but I have seen very clear, clean water in Malta. I went scuba diving there. It was absolutely gorgeous going scuba diving.
Oh, wow. And Nathaniel also advises that this is the third deepest lake in the world and the deepest lake in the Americas. Yeah. Oh, Sandy has seen this. I've seen blue, Lake this blue. All right, let's continue on.
Stunning scenery. It is a place that is sure to leave a lasting impression on anyone who visits. But because of all of the strange happening around the area, including strange disappearances and mysterious deaths, Crater Lake has become an area surrounded by intrigue and bizarre happenings. High strangeness and disappearances in and around Crater Lake. Next.
Yeah, but this is the channel we're reviewing, by the way. Paranormal Rising.
Paranormal Rising.
Sorry,
that was my trailer guy voice. I do.
There you go. That was excellent.
There you go.
You should charge for that, man.
Yeah, you know I should actually.
Crater Lake in Oregon is a beautiful natural wonder, known for its crystal clear waters and stunning views. But there is more to this location than just its scenic beauty. The area has all.
Who's muted?
You were muted for a moment there.
Oh. Okay. I don't know what happened.
Also been the site of numerous UFO sightings over the years, leading many to believe that the lake is a hotspot for extraterrestrial activity. One of the most famous UFO sightings in the Crater Lake area occurred in 1950 when a group of Air Force officers reported seeing a saucer-shaped object.
All right, listen here, digital. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Digital hamburger. I don't need any of this nonsense in my side chat. I will not prevaricate, obfuscate. Your fundamental grounding of all reality is based on the measure of nonsense coming out of your pie hole. So, thank you for watching, though, Dr. Josh. Or is this Megan? I think it's Dr. Josh, though. And Answers and Atheist is here, or Answers and Atheism is here. I just want to give a quick shout out. Big Zebra.
I like that play on words there.
Yeah.
Answers and Atheism. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my friend Mike. You might like Mike. He might be somebody to be interested in engaging with. He had a little bit of a feud with our mutual acquaintance Donnie. So,
ooh.
So there's a little bit spicy there. Thank you for joining us, guys. Yeah. We're watching Paranormal Rising Crater Lake. We just started, though. You guys haven't missed anything because I keep talking.
Object hovering above the lake. According to their reports, the object was metallic and appeared to be spinning. The officers watched as the object suddenly shot upwards into the sky and disappeared from sight. Since then, there have been numerous reports of UFO sightings around Crater Lake. Some witnesses have described seeing bright lights in the sky, while others have reported seeing strange objects hovering above the lake. In some cases,
then that's the problem. I kind of vetted this video, and he doesn't give like really dates on any of this stuff right here. There's some stuff he'll give dates on, but right now he's just kind of like some have reported. This has been seen. It's really vague.
Witnesses have even claimed to have been abducted by aliens while visiting the area. Despite the numerous reports of UFO sightings, skeptics argue that many of these sightings can be explained as natural phenomena or misidentified aircraft. However, believers in the paranormal argue that the number of sightings in the Crater Lake area is too high to be dismissed as mere coincidence. Some people even believe that Crater Lake is a hub for extraterrestrial activity, and that...
Is there an Air Force base near Crater Lake? Does anybody know? You people that's been there, is there an Air Force base nearby? Maybe it's an interesting correlation to draw. Let me know.
The lake itself may hold some kind of significance for these visitors from beyond our planet. According to some theories, the lake may be a portal to other dimensions, or even a gateway to an ancient civilization. While there is no conclusive evidence to support these theories, the numerous UFO sightings around Crater Lake have sparked the interest of paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. Many people flock to the area in the hopes of catching a glimpse of something otherworldly, and the lake has become a popular destination for UFO enthusiasts and researchers. Whether you believe in UFOs or not, there is no denying the allure of the mysterious and unexplained. Crater Lake and the surrounding area have captured...
Don't you love that, you guys? There's no denying. Like, no, you can't deny it. It's real. A lot of these channels will use that kind of language. It's like, yeah, this is a fact that this happens. There's no alternative explanations.
Yeah.
The imaginations of many, and the stories of UFO sightings only add to the mystique of this beautiful natural wonder.
Okay, we're going to start with the lake monster. Do you all know about lake monsters and are familiar with that concept, like the Ogopogo, Loch Ness monster, that kind of?
Oh,
concept?
I've got Loch Ness monster over here, over the pond.
Yeah.
It's also, it's sort of like one of those self-explanatory concepts. You know, it's a monster, and it's in the lake.
It's in the lake. Okay, yeah, but so there's a certain...
Or the giant squid, Hogwarts.
Yeah, that's the thing too. So like, the lake monster, traditionally, lake monster is like they depict as like a plesiosaur, right? But it could be anything that lives in a lake. Anything that's big living in a lake. Is a sturgeon a lake monster? Because that's a big fish. That's a monster fish.
An aggressive beaver.
Yeah, that with red eyes.
I wouldn't mess with that.
No, nor would I.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what?
Cocaine bear.
Okay.
Cracked out beavers.
I cracked out beavers. Do you know what? Whilst we're watching this Paranormal Rising, I'm half expecting like Zach Bagans to just come out of nowhere and just say, "It's undeniable proof that there are ghosts and monsters at Crater Lake."
Yeah, right. There's going to be some kind of I don't know. Calling those documentaries always sticks in my throat.
It's documentaries in inverted commas.
Yeah, like they hear a bump or pipes knocking in the funny thing, especially with people like taps, because they're plumbers. They hear pipes knocking and they're like, that must be a ghost.
While the Loch Ness monster is typically associated with Scotland, there have been rumors and reported sightings of a similar creature in the Crater Lake area of Oregon, known as the Crater Lake Monster. This mysterious creature...
Just a fun fact about that picture, and not a lot of people know this, is that picture is quite famous for depicting the Loch Ness monster. It was actually taken as part of this. There was like this, it was almost like a social experiment sort of thing. It was done by, I believe, Channel 4 here in the UK. So they commissioned the same company that did the animatronics for the BBC Walking with Dinosaurs series. And they made a massive like animatronic Nessie, and they like took it out into the loch and they like popped it up next to like tourists and stuff to see what people would do. I thought it was just fascinating. But the thing is, you can't find it online, and I'm really annoyed because it's actually fun. It's genuinely one of the best things I've ever seen. It's brilliant.
Was it so? History Channel had a habit of doing these documentaries like about the mermaids and the megalodons and stuff like that. They made it sound like they found them. Like they made it sound like they found the body of an actual mermaid. It was twisted to sell views, basically, to sell ad space. So yeah, but I think I'm familiar because there's that little short of this thing with it, just with this one with just this nose and snout sticking out of the water of this same model here.
Yeah.
Creature has captured the imaginations of people around the world and become a popular subject for paranormal enthusiasts. The Crater Lake monster is said to be a large, aquatic creature that inhabits the deep waters of Crater Lake. It's worth mentioning that the existence of a lake monster in Crater Lake would be quite unusual given that there are no rivers flowing in or out of the lake and no native fish. The only fish present in the lake are descendants of past attempts to stock it between 1888 and 1941. Despite
no native No native fish.
Is it toxic? Is that why?
Well, it's isolated, I think, and it's like way above sea level, so nothing.
Yeah, there's no way for the fish, unless you artificially put the fish in there. There's no way for the fish to actually get in there. But then also theoretically, there's no food there for the fish to eat.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Oh, you would have like bugs and stuff and.
Yeah.
Ooh, I bet the bottom of Crater Lake is like a treasure trove of fossils, though. You know.
Yeah. But like fish can survive in some pretty ridiculous places, like the Devil's Hole pupfish. They exist in one hole in the ground.
You know, there's in some of those blind cave fish and stuff are kind of in the same boat too. They only exist in this one cave group. Well, I think one of the requirements though is it has to have been at some point connected to some other body of water for the fish to get in there. And this Crater Lake's way up high. The only thing running down into it is running down from the peaks, right? So no water will be feeding into it that would have fish in it naturally. Fish would have to be put in it artificially. I think that fish could survive in there. I think they did say that there's fish in there now, but they're not native. So there's nothing indigenous that lives in this highland crater. It's like, see, I think it's a bit above sea level.
The numerous reports of sightings and eyewitness accounts of the Crater Lake monster, there is no conclusive evidence to support its existence. Skeptics argue that many of the reported sightings can be explained as natural phenomena or misidentified objects, while others...
Oh my gosh, thank you, Dr. Tapioca Weasel, for reminding me. Check out our new, if you get a membership, you get all these cool new icons, and we got Mothman unlocked. So the next one will be unlocked pretty quick here if we get, I think, just a couple more subscribers or channel members. So keep that in mind. We're getting all kinds of cool stuff unlocked up in here.
Believe that the creature may be a product of folklore and local legends. Despite this lack of concrete evidence, many people remain convinced that the Crater Lake monster is real. Some have even devoted their lives to studying the creature, collecting eyewitness accounts and searching for evidence that could prove its existence once and for all.
So what would you think would be a possible organism that could survive in a situation like this? You think a sturgeon could live in there? Like if someone released a sturgeon in there, that it could get really big?
Like, I don't know enough about like fish, but I'm sure there are some fish that could do it. I'd want to hear about these alleged attacks.
Yeah. There's this gets a lot weirder. We're like only 5 minutes in. Yeah.
Because, like, if they tell me it's a giant plesiosaur thing, that's different from, a squid or something.
Right. Whatever. I think, and I think my opinion would be that a mollusk or an annelid would do better in this kind of situation than any kind of vertebrate, especially not a tetrapod, but like what it's showing here, like a plesiosaur is gonna have. You're gonna expect certain things in that small and tight of an environment, certain evidence of its presence. Whereas an annelid, as long as the water's not too oxygenated down, and I don't think it would be because of how deep this lake is. I think that you could have like something big, like a giant worm or something that lives in here, but not a vertebrate, not undetected, not big enough.
Yeah.
Would you be able to see the bottom of the lake crater, whatever you want to call it, with sonar? Could it penetrate that deep?
You think it should be able to, because maybe they'll say something about that. I don't know. I like I said, I vetted this video, but like I was editing while I was listening to it, so it kind of some of it. I didn't do like a full response where I wrote down point by point, but yeah. Anyway, let's see what they say.
The existence of the Crater Lake monster may be up for debate. There is no denying the area's natural beauty and the allure of the unknown. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the stories and legends surrounding the Crater Lake monster are sure to fascinate and intrigue you.
Oh, okay. So that's it on the that's it on the lake monster. So let's explore that idea of sonar in the lake. Let me see here.
I would think so. It would rather surprise me if you couldn't.
Well, what I'm on about is sort of like if you were just doing it at a boat level on the surface. Because I know that I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure with Loch Ness, they had to submerge like these sonar-like buoys that hang from the bottom to actually be able to penetrate as deep as they needed to get to the bottom. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Huh. There's been a lot of... Yeah, there's a sonar map.
Ooh.
Of it. Yeah, let me pull that down here. So, is that gonna show up for you guys? No. Okay, hold on just a second. I'll have to X out a full screen.
Crater Lake is also supposedly...
Yeah, we know we got Bigfoot. We're gonna get there in just a second. Let me get this pulled back up. Why? Sorry, just a sec. It's being weird.
All right.
It's stunning how little I know about like lakes. Like you would think I'd be like, I know about lakes. I've been to lakes.
You know they exist.
Yeah, I've been on lakes. I went to Lake Titicaca in Peru, and that's
what a name.
Higher and deeper than this one, I think.
Yeah, Lake Titicaca is pretty high. So here's Wizard. I like that the island there. It's called Wizard Island. That's pretty cool. So, can we zoom in a little bit? There we go. Okay. So what are we looking at here? There's looks like 3 basins. So there's an east basin, northwest basin, and a southwest basin. Looks like the east basin is substantially deeper than the southwest basin. And it looks like it's probably deeper than the northwest basin too, but there's no darker color, so I can't be sure. Now, we got a cone here, so it's the volcanic cone. I think most of this platform here is probably like pyrastic flow, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Pyroclastic.
Pyroclastic. There you go.
I'm a natural disaster nerd. That's how I know that.
All right, so let's get back to the video, though. We'll keep this map up because it may come in handy for some of our other stuff that we're talking about too, because these places might be related to Bigfoot. Bigfoot might live on Wizard Island. I would love to be... I should write a children's book called Bigfoot of Wizard Island, but we'll talk about that later. We'll copyright because we're all going to, work on it together as a team.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Come on,
it.
Chad.
Yes, we're going to write it all together.
It could be a collaboration between our 3 communities.
Yes.
The unlikely collaboration to produce a children's
dude, it does look like a giant blue Pac-Man. Yeah, no. Do you see? It's... Hold on, I accidentally closed the screen.
Did you have it pulled up?
No, I had it pulled up on the other thing, and it did look like a giant, but now it...
A giant blue... Yeah, I know, I saw it. A giant blue Pac-Man. I can definitely...
Yeah, with the eye and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. There you go. Oh, you guys. All right, we're gonna get to Bigfoot. Look at the mustache on this Bigfoot too.
Oh,
are you jealous?
Sexy mustache.
Look at this. He's full beard. The cheekbones are the only thing that's in his nose. The only thing that's left covered or uncovered. Does he have hairy eyelids then? We'll find out. Hairy eyelid Bigfoot of Crater Lake.
Home to a mysterious creature, Bigfoot. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of sightings of this elusive and enigmatic creature in the forests and mountains around Crater Lake. leading many to believe that the area is a hotspot for Bigfoot activity. Bigfoot is said to be extremely elusive and rarely seen by humans. Despite this, there have been thousands of reported sightings of Bigfoot over the years, and many people believe that the creature is real. In the Crater Lake area, there have been numerous reports of Bigfoot sightings over the years.
Hold on, that's Blinky. There's this Bigfoot grifter guy named Todd Standing, right? And he goes out into the woods and puts on this Bigfoot costume and takes pictures of himself and his friends in these Bigfoot costumes and tries to pass them off as real. This is actually him, though. They did like you can actually take a picture of him at the time that this video was taken, and zoom it in and out. And he's a ginger, and they couldn't get the mustache to cover up right. So this Bigfoot actually without the adjusted lighting to hide it, it has a ginger mustache in the original footage.
Some witnesses have described seeing a large, hairy creature lurking in the woods, while others have reported hearing strange vocalizations or experiencing a strong, foul odor that is often associated with Bigfoot. Some people believe that Bigfoot is a primitive human-like creature that has managed to survive in the wilderness for thousands of years, while others think that it may be some kind of undiscovered primate. Whatever the case may be, there is no denying that the legend of Bigfoot has captured the imagination.
Okay, just to be clear, those are both the same thing. I know that Sam's probably going to disagree with me on that, but as far as classification goes, a humanoid would be a human, a species of primitive human would be classified as a primate. But yeah.
Yeah, they always get that wrong, though.
Yeah.
Nations of people around the world. While there is no conclusive evidence to support the existence of Bigfoot, many people continue to search for the creature in the forests and mountains around Crater Lake. Some researchers have even dedicated their lives to studying Bigfoot, collecting evidence and investigating reported sightings in the hopes of one day proving that the creature is real. Whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, there is no denying the allure of the unknown and the mysterious. The Crater Lake area has long been associated with legends and paranormal activity, and
So are they going to give us any sightings of Bigfoot, or just say that, hey, people saw Bigfoot here? I want to hear a story about it, like a Crater Lake story about Bigfoot encounters.
Stories of Bigfoot sightings only add to the area's mystique.
Nope, it just alludes to there being Bigfoot sightings. Doesn't give us any examples of them, any timestamps or anything like that. Yeah. And Sam stepped away for a second because he's having some mic issues, so he'll be back in just a minute. And anyway, while we're here, I know you generally pop into Maya's things on Sunday nights. So are you all getting back to that next Sunday? You got anything on the floor?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay.
I think we're not, I know Maya was having technical difficulties, and at this point,
yeah,
I've completely written the evening off. So Maya, you can't suddenly say we have to do it now. Are you gonna do? You can totally say that though.
Yeah. You can always cancel if you're not up to it. I've canceled plenty of appearances and stuff because I wasn't feeling up to it. Sometimes just for because I was doing some self-care that day, and that's what I had to do. So Nathaniel alluded to a Sasquatch murder at Crater Lake that we just totally glossed over. You didn't miss anything because there's a Sasquatch murder that this channel didn't even talk about.
Oh.
I'm so disappointed.
Is it the murder of a Sasquatch or a murder by a Sasquatch?
Well, here's what he said. He said, wait, no mention of the two supposed humans Sasquatch supposedly murdered. Disappointed. Oregon has more Sasquatch sightings than any other state, and they couldn't find one within Crater Lake National Park to use as an example. I would have liked one. At least they give examples. Well, they sort of give examples of the lake monster. They didn't give any sightings, though. I like coming to these things for the sightings so I can kind of dive into them and try to figure out what people actually were seeing, in my opinion, Oh my gosh, yeah. There's Gurr. There's Gurr, finally. We're only 7 minutes already into the video.
All right, let's.
Yeah. This door swings two ways, Gurr. All right, let's see what because it's Crater Lake in modern times. So what could that mean? Let's find out.
In 1853, a search party was formed in California to find their lost friend Set Him Up.
Yeah, that's modern times, 1843.
When wasn't the modern times? Like prehistory?
Yeah, that's when
it's not like
people. I think he's going to talk about the discovery of it by white people, because as we know, things don't exist until white people see them. Let's see.
Who had vanished from his mining cabin nestled at the base of Mount Mazama. Known for his generosity, Set Him Up would often come into town with a satchel of gold to buy drinks for the entire saloon. However, his real name has been lost to history. Concerned for his safety and that of his vacant claim, Set Him Up's friends had a rough idea of where his mine was located, and after no one had heard from him for a couple of years, they decided to search for it themselves. After stocking up on supplies in Jacksonville, Oregon, the group set out to explore the little explored forests surrounding Mount Mazama. Isaac Skeeters was part of a group search.
Mount Mazama. Did they mention that already?
It sounds vaguely Japanese.
So this guy was a miner. I missed it for some reason.
Yeah, he was like. I don't know. Let me pop it back about 15 seconds and see
where his mine was located. And after no one had heard from him for a couple of years, they decided.
Okay, so the guy that's name was lost to history had a mine. And he'd come into town and bring a little bit of gold every time and come and trade for goods and go back to his mine. After a couple of years of him not turning back up, they went out to look for his mine. So that's where we are so far.
Decided to search for it themselves. After stocking up on supplies in Jacksonville, Oregon, the group set out to explore the little explored forests surrounding Mount Mazama. Isaac Skeeters was part of a group searching for their lost friends who had.
He was searching for him. Isaac Skeeters. You can tell by his fabulous beard that his last name is Skeeters.
Vanished from his mining cabin near Mount Mazama. While following a rough set of directions to Set Him Up's abode, the group split into two parties at a fork in the trail, with Skeeters taking the right path. However, his horse refused to move at a certain point, and upon investigation, he discovered he was perched on the rim of Crater Lake. Disappointed, Skeeters returned to the wrong.
What? I'm confused. He's going along with his horse, and his horse doesn't want to move forward, and he has to go and investigate to realize he's at the edge of a lake. Like
the rim was he? I'm assuming he's supposed to be at the rim based on this image right here. Like with the dude standing there looking out.
How did he live to the age of whatever without with that level of fail in just like basic
spatial awareness?
Yeah, just basic awareness of your environment.
It's all of a sudden.
I guess cars weren't invented yet, but this guy wouldn't make it to the age of 3.
Rendezvous point, where another member named Hillman had taken the left path and discovered a cabin by a.
Hillman looks exactly like Skeeter. It's weird.
Maybe them peoples all looked alike back then.
Yeah, what are they trying?
I'm not gonna lie though, that beard, like the front part, looks eerily like my beard did when I grew it out during COVID.
This looks like a COVID beard.
I want to be clear.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Stream. Unfortunately, Hillman and his horse fell to their deaths, taking the location of the cabin with them. Despite searching, the group could not find the cabin and eventually had to return home empty-handed. To this day, the cabin remains lost, and Crater Lake.
That's kind of a cool mystery, though. A lost cabin out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Mystery of a cabin in the woods.
I'm down for that. Let's explore it. That's like Oak Island, kind of looking for a treasure. Because this guy's supposed to have gold, right? I'm sure people have been all over the area looking for that cabin.
Has been the site of other mysterious disappearances. In February 1911, B.B. Bykowski set out from Oregon City to capture winter photographs of Crater Lake. He arrived safely, pitched camp, and prepared for emergencies with a snow cave and stocked supplies. After successfully photographing the lake, Bykowski vanished without a trace. During that time, the region was hit with severe blizzards, and while Bykowski's
That would suck to be stuck camping out here with a blizzard hit. Oh man. I'm surprised that the lakes doesn't have a layer of snow on top of it. I wonder what keeps it from accumulating snow, you know?
Yeah. I will be right back. Give me a couple minutes.
Do you want us to wait? We can chit chat.
No, it's fine.
All right, I'll continue the video.
Sled and shovel were recovered. His body was never found. The mystery of why he would leave the safety of his camp during a blizzard and how he managed to disappear beyond the search radius during such a storm remains unsolved. Later that year, a visitor reported that Indian guides would take them near the rim and wait with their backs toward the mountains. Perhaps they knew something that Bukowski didn't, or maybe the guides were simply following standard safety procedures in the treacherous terrain.
I mean, if there's treacherous terrain, yeah, keeping your back to the mountain would... I don't get why that's supposed to be spooky. Did it seem spooky to you?
Not particularly. It sounds like just common sense.
Yeah, mysterious plane crashes. Now, that's a interesting concept. Let's see how many plane crashes this thing will suck in.
1944. The lake at Crater Lake National Park has been the site of many mysterious aircraft fatalities and disappearances since the 1940s. In one instance in the spring of 1944, 2 Grumman torpedo planes were flying in formation when one of the pilots turned and found the other plane had inexplicably crashed into the lake and sunk to the bottom despite clear conditions and no sign of trouble. Later that same year, a flight trainer and his gunner flew off to the north of the lake and were never seen again, with no sign of the men, the plane, or even a scrap of wreckage ever found. In another odd case from 1940...
So, if these are military losses, there should be like records of them, right?
It sounds like poor fuel management, in my opinion.
Yeah, when you're... And this, they're talking about the 1940s. They were doing a lot of experimental aircraft, too, so... Maybe things that weren't quite as flight ready as
or maybe one of the planes had a leak in the old fuel tank.
Yeah.
45. 7 Grumman F-6F Hellcat fighter planes entered a bank of clouds near Crater Lake on their way to Washington from Redding, California. When the
well, I'm not going to nitpick. Listen, I'm not going to nitpick him for showing different types of planes. I don't know planes, so I would have completely believed...
I'm not a plane guy, unfortunately. Yeah. You've got the wrong person on for that.
Well, Nathaniel, you can always come in here and help us with this stuff. You know, the link's right up there. You are welcome always to come in and help guide us on some of the stuff that we don't know. I don't know much about planes. I would have believed that this was showing Grumman's planes.
Planes emerged from the clouds, they found one of the planes had completely vanished. In 1970, a park ranger named Dave Painbaker reported spotting the wreckage of a blue Grumman F-6 Hellcat fighter through the trees. He went to investigate but got lost on his way to the crash. He then reported feeling a profound sense of being watched and was met with the macabre sight of a human skull peering out from shadows under a mossy log. The skull was identified as the pilot, 22-year-old Ensign Frank Lupo, who had gone missing in the cloud cover.
Is that why he felt he was being watched? Was it because the skull was there?
Yeah, it was like a haunted
because like
skull.
that would be like really creepy and like, but like still kind of makes sense, you know?
Yeah,
if you were like crash and then suddenly there was the skull and like your subconscious saw it and like knew it was like a face, but you didn't notice.
You'd actually get hit with some like uncanny valley by seeing a skull looking at you, right? Open black eye sockets. Yeah.
1945. Plane crashes at Crater Lake were quite common in the 1940s, with nearby Army Air Base officials estimating that around 2 or...
So there is a nearby Army Air Base. So that makes sense then, right?
There's always a nearby Army Air Base.
Right, that's like standard.
I think that might explain a lot.
And then we're going to get some like lights in the sky and stuff too. And it's going to be like, nearby Army Air Base.
2 or 3 planes a week crashed in or around the lake. However, the mysterious cases continued into later years as well. In August of 1978, Dave Nunn boarded his Cessna 182 along with his daughter and grandchild and 2 teenage student pilots named Jim.
So this does say Cessna on it. So this is a Cessna from Skylane. It's experimental.
I would love to learn to like fly a small plane.
Me
and
too.
get a small plane and do that. That sounds awesome.
Would you fly over Crater Lake?
I mean, it depends. Like I'm gonna look up and see like if it's a dead zone or if it's a no-fly zone for some reason, you know.
But like if you were given the opportunity, I said, hey, we want to pay you. If I was like, hey, you got your pilot license, I want to pay you $3,000 to fly me over Crater Lake. Would you?
Yeah, like if that was like
legal.
a thing that people did without vanishing all the time, then yeah, absolutely. If
But
like literally 100% of the people that go over it vanish, then like, you know, I'm not going to screw with that even.
But we could find out why.
I think it's all right, like because I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't even know if I want to find out why.
What if we could bring some instruments and we could bring.
Well, why did we do like a thing around the outside on the ground with like instruments and like maybe on boats to see if there's anything screwy going on? And then
like what instruments?
Yeah, we get like a team around the rim of the lake and down on the lake, maybe some boats and stuff, like ready to pull us out of the water. And we go in with we fly over with a plane that has like pontoons and things like that, you know, that'll keep us afloat.
Or what we could do is use a water plane.
Right, with pontoons, right?
Yeah. Like we can just land on the water and it's fine. You know, we're not going to sink.
Yeah. Like, oh, lake, you're gonna pull me down and make me disappear. Oh, how can you pull me under when I float, bitch? Right?
with giant tentacles. That's how.
Yeah, with a crack.
Yeah, but then we'd have witnesses and photographic evidence.
We wouldn't. We would witness each other vanishing into the icy cold depths.
Yeah, the fog would go over the lake, right? As soon as our plane hit, even though the boats were out there, I think fog would just envelop it.
Yeah, I mean, I generally have a policy of not going in small like 2-person planes to locations that are very clearly the site of a Stephen King novel.
Oh my gosh, I want that to be my demise, sweetie. I want that to be how I go out. In some freaking tangled supernatural mystery. I want to disappear into the void and people wonder whatever happened to me. I want that. I know you don't, but I do. I would love for that to be my demise. Is that morbid?
No, that's it's a wonderful and aggressive way to take charge of your destiny.
So like
today is a good day to die, you know, that sort of idea.
When I was on vacation, when I'm like driving like on a long road trip and I see one of those log trucks, I want to drive behind it because if I'm gonna go out, I want to go out in like a Final Destination log truck accident. That'd be freaking epic.
Oh man, yeah, that
boom.
I gotta say, I thought they hit it out of the park with some of those scenes.
Yeah, the log truck scene in Final Destination is traumatic. How else do you describe it?
It's iconic and traumatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm gonna have a violent death, wouldn't it be cool to have it and disappear into Crater Lake or something instead of just like disappearing into the Alaskan wilderness?
It might be a good way to fake your own death.
Although I would like to disappear into the Alaskan wilderness too. I'm okay with disappearing into any kind of wilderness if that's my fate. All right, let's see what more they have to say about this plane. This is a Cessna, guys. So this is, and I think they said 71, right? Let me rewind it just a few seconds so we can hear where he said. Okay.
The mysterious cases continued into later years as well. In August of 1978. Dave Nunn boarded his Cessna 182 along with his daughter and grandchild and 2 teenage student pilots named Jim Pryor and Matt Perkins to fly them back home to Salem. The flight went smoothly, but the plane disappeared off radar and went down at precisely 9:30 p.m. that night. An intensive search turned up no trace of the missing Cessna.
No, that's smooth. It was supposed to go down. It went over the...
That's not...
No,
I don't think they know what the word smooth means.
Look, okay, so if the goal is you're going to fly over Crater Lake and go down, and that's what happens.
Okay, I'm never flying with you, Bree.
I'm just listen, because the goal when you fly over Crater Lake is to disappear, right? There's no other reason to fly over it.
Okay, guys, nobody ever get into an airplane and go to Crater Lake with Bree, because no good can come of this. This is clearly and the foreshadowing.
Also, as well, if Bree mysteriously just stops just streaming and uploading, then we all know what's happened.
Yes. I mean,
you chartered an airplane to fly over Crater Lake and you've just gone missing.
Yes, that's the goal. Let's do it. I don't know if you can even fly over a national park like that, really, though. Like, because of emissions or something, there might be laws against it.
Yeah, good
or
question.
The 3 people on board. 7 years later, in July of 1982, a hiker came across a crashed Cessna with 3 skeletal bodies inside. Dave Nunn's wife, Jean, claimed to have an odd experience on the night of the disappearance when she was awoken by the sensation of a hand on her leg, even though no one was there. The cause of the crash remains a mystery. 1991 Glenn Allen Mackey. Glenn Allen Mackey, a 33-year-old man from Brea, California, went missing in the Crater Lake area in October 1991. His abandoned car was discovered in a parking lot with his driver's license, keys, passport, and cash, but no sign of Mackey himself. Despite a thorough 3-week search, authorities found no trace of him. In another strange incident in 2014, a man was seen speaking to a...
That is pretty weird, right? That's
like suicide.
That is like the standard of like the missing 411, the standard kind of stuff that they have. But also the standard Blair Witch, so...
Yeah, but like, yeah, they might have, yeah, it might have been that, and they offed themselves and then fell in the water or something, but never been found. Like, how far did his body like float away before sinking? Like, they're gonna search that area.
Right, and there's, I mean, so a body bloats when.
Yeah. And it would show up eventually, so it seems more. It honestly seems more likely that.
With that cold water, though, because there's like this. I don't know if it's an effect here, but like in Lake Superior, right? There's those bodies that are down there. They're just down.
Is that a thing? I didn't even know that. I mean.
Yeah, there's a famous wreck, the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Is that in Superior?
Yeah. Lake Superior.
Okay, I thought it was in Michigan.
More potentially theoretically. I mean, if the water's cold enough, then surely that would essentially stop
the
decomposition.
Bacterial. Yeah. Because the bacteria wouldn't be able to propagate properly.
Yeah,
they
but
need a certain temperature too.
I'm also thinking just like why unless they just didn't do a very thorough, like scuba search of the area. Then I would have expected them to find it, particularly given that there don't seem to be any animals that live in this lake, other than the hypothetical lake monster, which would like drag it away. And
it eats planes, though. It doesn't eat suicide people.
Well, yeah, but my point is, there isn't a body. And if it was a suicide, I would expect there to be a body if it was a suicide. So I think it was foul play.
So
maybe
people do commit suicide and go off into the wild and do it. There's what's his name? Terry Veach, who's a hiker and I'm gonna screw this all up. He was in Nevada though, looking for this M-shaped cavern that he had found. But he'd always talked about how he was really suicidal, right? And how he was going to commit suicide. He'd go out to one of these caves that only he knew about and do it there, and no one would ever find him. And so that's what he did. Yeah. So people do. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but I'm saying that's.
How do you know that's what he did?
Right. Well, I don't. But if someone who wants to commit suicide and not have somebody find their body, though, they can make it happen if they know their way around the wilderness. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
ranger before scrambling down the caldera wall. The ranger became concerned for the man's safety and went to stop him, but when he turned to bend, the man had vanished. The only
Wait a
evidence...
second, did we miss the start of a different story?
Yeah, we totally did.
Okay, let's...
That's how these things always happen.
Right. Okay, let's see.
Despite a thorough 3-week search, authorities found no trace of him. In another strange incident in 2014, a man was seen speaking to a ranger before scrambling down the caldera wall. The ranger became concerned for the man's safety and went to stop him, but when he turned to bend, the man had vanished. The only evidence left behind was a pair of sunglasses, and it was later discovered that the man had given a false name to the ranger. The disappearance remains a mystery to this day.
Yes, never give your real name to a cop. Sorry, that was a bad joke. But yeah.
I watch a lot of I don't know, like, not cop shows. That's not the thing. Like police interactions on YouTube, because I enjoy watching like sovereign citizens make a fool of themselves.
Sometimes the cops make a fool of themselves in those.
Yeah.
Too,
Oh,
though.
yeah. No, but when cops make a fool of themselves, it's more scary and depressing and less funny.
Yeah, when that's what it gets like. Oh my gosh! Like especially when a cop gets dunked on by someone like what's his name, the big dude. He's so awful. He's so awful. I can't think of his name though. That they used to cover. I used to watch Predator Trolls all the time, and there was they'd cover him a lot. But yeah, it'll come to me if I stop trying to think of it. Serio, Glenn Serio. There you go.
Not familiar.
Yeah, he's awful. He's an awful frauditor guy. You want to watch someone get that's detestable get their comeuppance over and over again, Glenn Serio. But sometimes he'll dunk on the cops. It's like, dude, come on, this guy's getting one over on you.
Yeah, right.
Day. The remains of his body, mainly teeth fragments and some personal belongings, were found years later. In 1994, Crater Lake claimed yet another victim when a helicopter piloted by George W. Cossey, 52, crashed into its clear waters. Cossey was an experienced pilot, and there were no apparent engine problems or weather issues at the time of the crash. Witnesses reported seeing the helicopter skim across the lake's surface before plunging 500 feet down near Wizard Island. Despite thorough investigations, authorities were unable to determine the cause of the crash, though some speculated that Cossey may have been disoriented by the lake's clear blue reflection and misjudged the surface as the sky. The mystery of Crater Lake's deadly...
I always mistake the surface of the water for the sky.
I mean, if you're dazzled by reflections, that could happen.
Well, it said he was an experienced pilot, though. You know.
Yeah,
but if you're but surely if you're that close to the surface of the water, and then maybe like a freak like wind shear or like turbulence or something like that would suddenly like push you slightly downwards, your sticky out bits of your helicopter would catch on the water, and then you just go down.
And just
pull
you right down, huh?
Mm.
Yeah. Helicopters are not the most forgiving of vehicles to pilot.
Mm.
They're very, very fickle.
Yeah, they have a tendency to like crash.
A
lot.
Yeah, they really they crash a lot.
You think the machine made of spinning blades wouldn't have that problem, right?
The allure continues to baffle and intrigue to this day.
Fires burning by themselves.
Crater Lake is known not only for its natural beauty but also for the strange and unexplained occurrences that happen there. Among them are mysterious lights that dance around Wizard Island, while park rangers have often reported seeing campfires burning on the island without any smoke or trace of anyone having been there. Locals believe these are the spirits of the island.
What do you mean? The campfires the trace that people have been there.
Yeah, right. Right now I'm like 100% saying that this is the local teenagers.
Yeah, plus
I almost have little Go ahead.
Why? Of course, like, it sounds like those local teenagers are living the life. Like, go out, sneak onto Wizard Island where you're not supposed to go, apparently, and, like, have a little campfire, and just don't start an actual fire, because if you do, you're probably going to go to prison.
Yeah. This is like, the closest thing to sacred ground, right? That the government will protect.
Yeah, and also just other people are sick of it. People are sick of people starting fires and it causing tons of damage. Like,
yeah, always
especially with gender
fires.
reveal parties.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah, always control your fires. I'm gonna turn on some of my lights here. I'm gonna play this, and it's getting dark, so I'll be right back. Just listen.
It's inhabit the waters around it. Visitors have reported seeing large, dark shapes swimming under the surface of the lake, creating ripples or splashes on its calm waters. One woman named Maddie Hatcher claimed to have had a close encounter with one of these massive creatures when a black shape swam under her boat while she was out on the lake with her family. I have never been so scared in my life. What we saw that day was a monster. To me, it looked like a dragon. I know why the natives call that place Lost Lake. They say monsters live in it. I believe them. I know because I saw one there. Samuel Savage Becker Bullock disappeared October 14, 2006. Sammy was a person with a strong and passionate personality. Sometimes...
Wait a second. I just want to go back just a second because did they just go back to the lake monster just randomly?
Yeah.
For just talking about the fires and then just randomly went back to the lake monster?
Yeah, it's not this like they made chapters to like sort out their ideas, and then they just didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, because like that story right there was interesting. I was like, hey, cool, more about the lake monster. We've got a person here. They gave a name. I think her name was Lizzie something. And
a sighting, an actual sighting, right?
Yeah, and she was like, it was a giant, dark shape that moved under the thing, and I believe the local legends that say that there are monsters there, and like that felt like more than the entire like section had given us earlier.
You finally got some substance. But why wasn't it back in the lake monster section? There was a couple of ways they could have approached this video. They could have done it chronologically, which is probably how I would have done it since there's such a variety of topics. Or they could have done it phenomenologically, which would be to separate it into types of phenomena, which is what they pretended that they're doing here, but it's not following.
Yeah, so the way they're actually sorting it out is they're not doing it phenomenologically or chronologically. They're doing it poorly.
Doing it poorly.
And that's also an adverb that can describe how to do things. So,
Yeah.
Bordering on stubbornness. He also had a mild form of autism, which made him afraid of loud noises and bright lights. Sammy was a young boy, standing at 4 feet and 11 inches tall and weighing about 85 pounds. He had short brown hair and brown eyes. When he went missing, he was wearing a long-sleeved black and green t-shirt, cargo pants, a blue winter coat, and red suede slip-on shoes with rubber soles. Although Sammy had some...
I think this guy's still missing, so let's just take a quick second to say, hey, look at this picture and everything. It's been a while, but there's always a chance, right? So if you see somebody who looks kind of like this, maybe it's this guy.
Camping experience. He did not have any formal training in wilderness survival, which was a concern given his young age. The Bullocks had parked their car at a pullout at around 4 p.m., about 500 yards east of the Cleewood Cove parking lot. They were strolling along the north side of Rim Drive when they decided to stop and play tag on a cinder slope. Sammy spotted something yellow and thought it could be gold. As the evening approached, Kenneth Bullock headed back to the car, intending to return to their rented cabin near Diamond Lake. However, Sammy refused to leave the slope, so Kenneth chased after him. Despite his efforts, Sammy, thinking it was a game, stayed ahead and eventually disappeared over the top, around 50 feet away from Kenneth. At that point, Kenneth lost sight of him. More than 200
this is really sad.
Yeah.
100 people were quickly mobilized to search for Sammy, covering a vast area of around 6 square miles or 4,000 acres. For a week, the search party employed various techniques such as using dogs, helicopters, and heat-sensing cameras, but to no avail. While a helicopter crew spotted some tracks, they turned out to be from wildlife, and no signs of the boy were ever found. Despite heavy snowfalls in the area, intermittent searching continued for a while. Technical crews searched the slopes leading.
So this is missing 411 here too.
From the rim of the caldera down.
Yeah, so then like Nathaniel saying in the side chat, kid got lost in the woods and died. It was cold, sucks, but it's most likely what happened. Also, a cougar's a possibility, or a bear. But bears would generally be sleeping at that time of year, so cougars.
Do they have wolves at that in that area of?
There's no wolves in Oregon. There's no stable wolf population in Oregon that I'm aware of, but there are. I think there are maybe transient packs that move into Oregon.
Possibility.
Because the neighboring state, Idaho, definitely has wolves. But I don't know if they're on that side of the state, because Crater Lakes. I don't know.
It's probably just a case of wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. It would suck if a cougar did get them, but a cougar will kill you fast, too, so... Of all the animals that could kill you in that area, being killed by a cougar would be a lot better than being killed by wolves, because they just tear you apart. Whether you're dead or alive, a cougar will kill you and try to kill you quietly. And a bear would just maul you. So, yeah, cougars are the most humane of the forest killers.
To the water, which has a drop of 700 to 1,000 feet. Although it was deemed unlikely that Sammy would have fallen into the lake because of obstacles on the slope, the search teams included experts from National Park Services in California, Washington, and Oregon, specialty rescue teams from Mount Hood and Mount...
Yes, and Kenthoven does make a point that cougars do rarely attack people, like so rarely. Well, wildlife rarely attacks people. That's why it's such a big deal when it does happen. That's why they make such a big deal of it. You're going to be more likely to get killed by almost any domestic species than any kind of wildlife. You are more likely to be killed by a cow than a cougar. More likely to be killed by a dog than a wolf. More likely to be killed by a vending machine than a bear. Yeah, coyotes won't. I mean, there's been one recorded death by coyotes of an adult human, so just one, and they were shown to be coy wolves too, so they had wolves in them. She's a folk singer. Her name was Taylor. I can't remember. I don't want to give misinformation on it, so I'll have to get back to you on that. But one death by coyote in all of history. We're gonna scuba dive into Crater Lake. You down for scuba diving in Crater Lake, boys?
No. I'm not able to scuba dive because I had an operation, which for a lung thing, and now I can't scuba dive because I might get the bends or something and die. Who knows?
Can you snorkel?
Yeah.
Well, you could do like 1 meter, like 2 meter. Scuba diving.
Yeah, I can go in the water, and plus I bet it's also a thing that happened one time, and now they warn all the patients who had that procedure that they can't do it. And because I'm the physics of that doesn't seem to make sense why they're telling me I can't do it. So yeah.
Yeah. And no, I did not hear that Chris Jones got arrested. Gonna go for it. That's big news. Chris Jones of the Kenthoven scandals. I guess he got arrested for some of his activities.
Well, that's a whole bunch of drama, isn't it? The whole Kenthoven thing.
Mm-hmm. It's pulling everybody in, too. So it was hanging over our community as well for a long time. I can't imagine how it impacted your community, though, how closely you guys are tied in with standing for truth, and how much standing for truth depends on, some Hoven content. But, yeah.
Well, I mean, standing for truth has got sort of the, it's sort of where Kent goes to debate. Mm-hmm. It's sort of his just go-to place. We don't really deal with Kenthoven on our channel at all, really. I don't think we've ever... I can't speak for the other guys, but I have never met or spoken to him. But I can't speak for the other guys, part of the Creation Research team.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not gonna go into Kenthoven stuff on this stream, but thank you for update.
We're doing paranormal, whatever it is.
Paranormal Rising, yeah. Paranormal Rising.
Paranormal Rising. There you go.
There you go. You did that rumble at the end of it's perfect.
Yeah,
man.
I know, it's great.
Rainier, and local U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management employees, along with teams from Jackson, Klamath, and Deschutes counties. But Sammy was never seen again. In 1974, Charles Chuck McCullough, a 19-year-old from Virginia, embarked on a photography and hiking trip with the intention of visiting all the national parks in the United States. However, despite his passion for photography,
that would be awesome to do, by the way, to visit every national park. You know?
McCullough was inexperienced in wilderness survival. He had arrived in Eugene, Oregon, and planned to venture to Crater Lake National Park to capture winter photos. However, he was ill-prepared to face the harsh Oregon wilderness in the winter with insufficient equipment and supplies to withstand the sub-zero temperatures and snow drifts. Chuck had informed his friends that he would return in 2 days and to report him missing if he didn't return by February 1st. Despite several
Sounds like Chuck knew exactly what was going to happen to him and maybe what did happen to him, right?
Yeah.
sightings of him in the Diamond Lake area. Chuck was last seen on January 30th, 1975, when a park logger gave him a lift to the entrance of Crater Lake Park due to the heavy snow that made Chuck's VW van unsuitable for the trip. Over 18 months later, Chuck's body was found near the Bybee Creek by 2 Texan hikers on the Pacific Crest Trail. The mystery of what happened to Chuck, also known as the Melting Man of Crater Lake, remains unsolved. Chuck's friends reported him missing to the authorities on February 1st, 1975.
I don't understand. What was there particularly mysterious about it, though?
Maybe they're going to get into it. I don't know if this, because Nathaniel said, "Hey, I mentioned him," and they talk about him. So I'm wondering if this is one of the ones that's related to one of these other phenomena, because he mentioned that there was no, they didn't go into, when I said something about them not going into the Bigfoot stuff, they talk about Bigfoot murders. So is this one of the Bigfoot murders? Maybe, I hope so.
Yeah.
As per his request. However, they did not hear any news until February 10th, which was a delay of a week and a half. On hearing about his son's disappearance, Charles' father immediately flew to Oregon. Despite extensive air and ground searches of the northern section of the park, no clues were uncovered about McCullough's whereabouts. The park's conditions were challenging at the time, with high snowdrifts. Charles' father spent the whole summer camping at Crater Lake, searching extensively for his son, but he couldn't find any trace of him. In October 1976, 2 hikers from Texas mistakenly took an abandoned trail into the Sphagnum Bog area of Crater Lake National Park. While trying to find their way back, they stumbled upon a ripped and dirty backpack near Bybee Creek. They marked the
Okay, so maybe they do find this guy, I guess. I'm only stopping because I have to stop it every now and then, or I'll get a copyright strike or copyright claim. Yeah, so they find his backpack.
Location with an item of clothing and reported it to park rangers. The next day, rangers Larry Smith and Marion Jack went on a horse patrol to search the area. They found the backpack described by the hikers and discovered a Volkswagen key in a zippered side pocket. Upon comparing the key with a Xerox copy of a VW key from Charles McCullough's file, they confirmed that it was the same key that belonged to McCullough's Volkswagen back in Virginia. At 1:30 p.m., the rangers received a radio call informing them that the 2 rangers had discovered some remains scattered over a steep bank of the Bybee Creek drainage, which was 4 miles from Lightning Springs and around 12 miles from the trailhead. Upon examining the contents of the nearby backpack,
damn, dude, marched 12 miles off trail in the middle of winter and sub-zero temperatures.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right, and I think he said he was wearing jeans.
It became evident that the remains were that of missing Chuck. The scene the rangers encountered was perplexing, and they were left puzzled by what they saw. Marion described it as if Chuck had completely melted into his pants. Strangely, there was an empty pair of pants positioned on a log and foot bones and 2 pairs of socks beneath the pants. Inside the jeans, there were broken off ends of a fibula or tibia with fluid on them. While the pants were mostly intact, the underwear elastic found was degraded by the weather. They conducted a thorough search of the area, but the boots were nowhere to be found. The unbuttoned jeans and undone belt buckle were the only clothing found on Chuck's remains. His shirt and coat were missing, and his camera equipment and money were nowhere to be found. The crown of his skull was discovered about 12 feet away from the remains, but there was no indication of blunt force trauma. However, Chuck's camera equipment was not found, and there was no money in his backpack or on his remains. On October 18th, the FBI and state police handed over...
I suspect foul play. It sounds like maybe he had somebody that he met take him, say, hey, can you take me to a place where I can get the best photos? And someone took him out and robbed him and killed him is what it sounds like to me, because he's 12 miles from where he was expected to be, like something somebody would have been like, yeah, I can take you up here and show you some great sites. And
yeah, could have also just gotten lost, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, for sure.
Right? Like, my dad used to do a fair amount of like hiking and mountain climbing, and he was on an expedition that climbed Denali in the 60s, and he was like looking at the map one day, and the plan was to go down, one of the valleys or something, and he was like, I think we're actually on this other ridge. I think that we don't know where we are accurately. And he like talked to the like head of the expedition, because he was one of the most junior members, and they like went up onto the ridge and took a look around. We're like, you know what? I think you're right. And so he probably saved them like at least a few hours, because they probably would have like realized, wait, this doesn't make sense. But
yeah.
And they were on that mountain for like a month and a half. So
damn. All right, let's get this finished up. There's about a minute and a half left.
Over the remains to the coroner, who determined that Chuck's cause of death was natural. How did he travel so far into the wilderness in deep snow? Given that there were 7.5 feet of new snow on the ground on the day Chuck disappeared, it is unclear how he could have traveled.
Why would anybody even let him go out when there's 7.5 feet of snow on the ground? Like when he's
an adult.
Yeah, but like the Park Service. I mean, why wouldn't they have the roads blocked off and say, hey, you can't come in here right now?
Maybe he went through a side little channel he knew or something.
Maybe sneaking in there. Could be.
Traveled so far on foot to reach the Bybee Creek drainage without skis or snowshoes. It would have been impossible even for a snowmobile to travel.
Obviously it wasn't impossible because it happened.
Through 2.6 meters of fresh powder snow. One theory suggests that McCullough may have followed snowmobile tracks, but this seems unlikely as snowmobiles were not permitted in remote areas of the park. Moreover, the fresh and deep snow would have made it impossible for any vehicle to travel that distance into the wilderness at that time of the year. It is worth noting that there were reports of strange storms, including high winds, in the area during the time of Chuck's disappearance. According to some theories, it is possible that Chuck McCullough was suffering from hypothermia, which can cause a phenomenon known as paradoxical undressing.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's why they think the people strip off their clothes and they get hypothermia. It's really weird because they think they're burning up inside.
Condition makes individuals feel excessively hot even when they are actually freezing, leading them to remove their clothing. This could explain why important items of clothing were missing from the scene. In extreme cases, individuals suffering from hypothermia may even remove their boots, leaving them behind in a different location. Chuck McCullough's remains were limited to his foot and leg bones.
There's fresh powder in the Cascades tonight, it sounds like. Sounds fun.
In his skull, leading some to speculate.
What's that?
I was just going to say that hypothermia makes you do some really weird stuff. Mm-hmm. Like you get to you're so cold, and then all of a sudden you're just really hot. You just get this sensation you're just so hot, and you just take everything off, and that just basically just ends you.
Yeah, that's the
end. It's so puzzling that happens. You think that would have evolved like to not happen.
Right, it's a really weird reaction. I think that by that point that there's brain damage happening though. You know?
Yeah.
Still, it's not a great failure mechanism.
I think I think it might also be just sort of like a reaction of the nerves as well, like in the because they're just so cold, and then all of a sudden your brain tries to get some feeling back, and it gives the illusion that you're hot. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I'm just a tech guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's things in the body like that, like your tongue will detect, like peppers and stuff. Literally trick your brain into thinking there's actual fire on your tongue. You know, it was that capsaicin or whatever the
capsaicin.
Capsaicin. There you go. Yeah, that tricks your brain into thinking that it's actually their tongue's actually on fire, or your eyes, or your. Because I've got it in my eyes before. It's wonderful. If you guys haven't tried it,
it's thrilling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, especially if you just woke up and you're trying to get ready for like a dinner or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to take this at face value and do it right now.
No, you have to do it in the morning when you first wake up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put a line of cayenne like pepper on the thing, and then tomorrow I'm gonna sprinkle it in each eye. Okay.
Yeah, let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Film it for us as well, so we got some viral content.
I mean, that would be guaranteed viral content, though.
Yeah, we would get, and you could probably prosecute us for saying to do it too. But like, they told me to do it.
I snorted a flaming hot Cheeto when I was that I had crushed up when I was in high school. Because somebody bet me something, so.
You did. I mean, you were
did.
successful.
I won the bet, and like.
How was the experience?
Did you lose any of your sense of smell or anything?
No, nothing permanent.
Good.
It was extremely painful in the short term, and I'm pretty sure I failed a quiz that day because I couldn't focus.
I
wonder why.
Because my nose was on fire. Haven't you been listening?
Because they used to use that on to like throw dogs off your scent and stuff. People would put pepper on the ground. The dogs would sniff the pepper, and I from what I understand, it totally ruins the dog's sense of smell if they snort it up their nose. Like they'll never be able to smell right again. But I didn't know if that happened.
I don't think it would be never again. I would be surprised at that. Maybe, but that would surprise me.
But then again, they're very highly like the dog sense of smell is so sensitive. I probably wouldn't doubt, like, it might have to go out of like law enforcement line of work. It might dull it slightly, so then it wouldn't be any use,
or at least make it so it's shy about sniffing. Have a behavior
I'd have to research like how long it takes for those particular cells to like grow and like get refreshed or something, and since it might be nerve cells or something, it might take quite a while, or it might not happen. I don't know, but generally speaking, like, yeah, it might fry those like detectors, but
the sensors.
Eventually I would think they would grow back.
I know, you know what? I realize I'm just repeating like old wives' tales, and I don't even know if that's true. But this is like from like when they'd have the cops come and talk to us in school and stuff about law enforcement, what they'd tell us about the dogs.
Also, I think the dogs would have a good enough sense of smell that they'd smell it before snorting it. Yeah, right?
Yeah, but you think a bear would have a good enough sense of smell too to not snort all that cocaine, but here we are.
Yeah, see?
I don't know if that had anything to do with the sense of smell. I think that was a deliberate choice.
You think
and
chose
I have to say,
that bear wanted to party and party hard.
It's not a decision that I can disagree with.
All right.
I haven't seen that movie. I need to.
I haven't either. It looks hilarious.
I haven't either. It is on my watch list. So
we got 30 seconds of this thing left.
Come on, let's burn it off.
Speculate that wild animals may have consumed the rest of his body. Food is scarce in the region during winter, and animal activity in the area could have caused the bones to be scattered and dragged off, resulting in limited evidence of his remains. But is this what happened to Chuck McCullough? Did he simply die of natural causes due to the elements and wild animals, or was his death caused by something far more sinister, something that cannot be explained?
All right, well, that's that. Crater.
That was cheery.
Yeah. Crater Lake spook you guys out?
Nah, I'm all good.
I bet I could take it in a fight.
Yeah.
Just fight the lake, just punch the water.
Yeah. You're not getting me without a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I can swim. What's it gonna do? Drown me? It doesn't even have any monsters in it.
Yeah. Well, does it have a monster in it though?
No.
I don't think they've provided sufficient evidence in that video to showcase that there actually is a monster in the lake.
You know, I'll take you negative Nellies at face value about it and say there's probably not a monster in that lake or any lake, but I don't know if
I was just gonna say, a part of me just wants there to be a monster somewhere because I think that would just be so cool. Just like imagine waking up the headlines, just like monster found in Loch Ness.
Yeah,
and just like actual video evidence of like a dinosaur, an aquatic dinosaur or something. That'd be great.
So, I believed in Bigfoot, like up until like fairly recently, right? From childhood, I was expected one day I am going to wake up and that's going to be the headline, right? That we found Bigfoot. Bigfoot's real with a species now. We're going to put this land to protect it. And I thought that for years and years and years. And that was my default position. It's like, okay, with all these sightings and all this evidence, eventually it's going to happen. And eventually something did happen. Eventually Bree became jaded to the whole idea of Bigfoot being a thing at all. And started a channel debunking this stuff because it's all BS.
Yep.
But so I'm jaded about cryptozoology because that was my last little stronghold.
Yep.
But did you guys know that that the Mormons believe that Bigfoot is Cain?
I did not know that actually.
Yeah.
That tracks though.
Biblical Cain, yeah. Came to the New World. All right, yeah. Well, we've been going about an hour and a half.
And a Mormon just believes.
That's the only like proper good musical that I've seen in ever.
Which musical is that from?
The Book of Mormon. It's written by the creators of South Park.
It's excellent.
Okay, I know they did Cannibal, the musical.
Yeah.
And they did I watched the South Park episode about the history of the Mormon Church.
Dum 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 dum.
Dum 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 dum. There's that, and it's like what isn't it? His wife, whatever. Smart. That's the only time they say it the whole thing.
Smart.
By the way, Mormon history is fascinating and entertaining. It absolutely needs to be made into a hit HBO series because there's so much there that is amazing, and you should absolutely go. And
there's a channel.
I can't even remember. Bryce Blankenagel though is the guy, and you should watch all of the things that Bryce Blankenagel has ever done because he does Mormon history things, and it is the Mormons went to war with the state of Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know. I've been to Nauvoo. I tell you all about it up there.
There's a really good series that's got the guy who played the second Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, the TV show. It's about like this murder that happens in this like Mormon community. It's genuinely fascinating.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. I'm so happy. This is so awesome. I'm so excited. It's like the 1,000.
Yes,
I'm so sorry. I'm so bleary-eyed. I just got up and saw your message. I was like,
yeah, no, you're fine. We watched a thing about the Crater Lake mysteries, and there was a lake monster and Bigfoot and UFOs and plane crashes.
Yeah, it was a wild ride.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. All right, cool.
And then we ended with people disappearing and stuff. So yeah. Well, good morning. Is it morning?
Yeah,
it's morning.
Are you in Aussie or New Zealand?
Australia.
Perth.
Fair enough.
I'm in Western Australia, so it's a 12-hour time difference kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it's 9 here. Got up a bit late, but
yeah, I'm used to that. With if you don't know, I'm Sam. I'm the tech guy from Creation Research.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Sam. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about Bree hitting 1,000. I just completely ignored you.
It's fine.
Tapioca.
It's not about me.
Whatever.
It's all about the 1,000.
No, it's good to meet you. A pleasure to meet you, Sam. And Tapioca, it's always wonderful to see you. Always. Yeah.
Well, Midnight popped in before, and then didn't ever come back.
Sparkle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Midnight's sort of, doing
Like
midnight
that, yeah.
things. Yeah, absolutely.
We could have done the missing 411 stuff from your continent too, guys. We could have done some from Australia because there's a couple of volumes he's got on that as well. What's the it used to be Ayers Rock. What's that called now? Aurelia or
Uluru.
Uluru, yeah.
Yeah.
It has.
Did they revert the name to something less white?
Well, I mean, like Ayers, like they named it after the person who discovered it.
Yeah.
Because it had been there for obviously, millions of years.
It wasn't that.
It's one of the oldest rocks.
Probably, yeah.
It actually didn't exist until, like we talked about the Crater Lake before. It does not exist until white people see it. So
yeah,
right, yeah.
That's
so
World History 101.
Yeah, and it's a sacred site to the Aboriginal people of Australia, so they are very it's very important to them. Yeah, absolutely. So I think sort of respect-wise, Australia just decided to use the native name for it, Uluru. So
yeah, that's what has happened to some extent with the name Denali and Mount McKinley. Is more and more people are just calling it Denali instead of Mount McKinley, which is the tallest mountain in North America.
They're trying to do that with Everest too, because the Mount Everest, the guy that's named after, never even went there. Everest never went to Mount Everest. Never even laid eyes on the mountain that's named after it.
Genuinely didn't realize that Everest was a name, because that's one of those words that, like,
you're just surrounded by it from such an early age, you don't realize that it's actually associated with something.
Yeah,
but also, like, it's so defining, and it's like if you made up a name that wasn't a real person's name, Everest would like be a really cool name to make up. I don't know.
It almost
I only found out recently,
right?
I'm sorry.
It almost sounds descriptive, right? Everest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It sounds descriptive, even though Everest is not an adjective.
Well, or even, like Everest, you could make an argument that Everest
what's an Every?
Well, Everest is like death, right? You could say Everest, like it's a euphemism for death, right? So that's what I thought it was when I was younger. I thought it was like a metaphor for death kind of thing.
Like Death Mountain or something.
Right, so Death Mountain, Everest.
I think the name of it, it has native names too, but it has a couple of them. Because where it's located at, it's going to have an Indian name, it's going to have a Tibetan name, it's going to have a Chinese name.
Right, right.
So, but with Denali, at least you got one people group that's picking the name of it. Who's going to pick the name of
Denali?
Everest?
Sounds really good as well. That sounds awesome. Right? Like I prefer Denali, and I prefer Uluru as well. I think that sounds way better than Ayers Rock kind of thing.
Kilimanjaro
Uluru
is also awesome.
Yeah.
And Titicaca.
Fujiyama.
Sorry, I just love that name.
Titicaca it's an objectively amusing name, but I got the most prized possession that I own, my hat. I have this hat that I got from an island on Lake Titicaca.
Isn't there an island on an island in Lake Titicaca?
Yeah, I can imagine. It's huge. There's also, they have floating like villages and islands.
Wow.
That are just, they're like thick layers of some plant material that they layer down, and they have to add a new layer every so often because they're kind of always constantly pushing this thing down. But they're
it's waterlogged,
floaty,
sure.
big island things, and then there comes like a boat that'll come and collect some of the kids and bring them to whichever island has the little school on it. It's really amazing. It's Lake Titicaca is one of the most fascinating places in a number of ways.
There's another lake in South America that has a storm always rolling over top of always. I'm trying to remember what the name of the lake is. Let me see if I can Google it. Go ahead and say what you were saying, Mark. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, just I'd love to visit some parts in South America. My mother went and visited the ruins in Peru. What's the name of them?
Machu Picchu?
Yeah, Machu Picchu, and absolutely
Machu Picchu is the most beautiful place I have ever been, and that is, yeah, it's amazing. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Well, I heard something the other day that they discovered ruins all beneath the Amazon. That the Amazon isn't a natural forest kind of thing. It's not made up of natural. It was actually cultivated at one point.
Yeah, it's the rainforest took it back, right? There were cities before. So what you had was the Spanish, and once Columbus discovered the West Indies, they started sending ships over different exploratory to go up the coast and kind of feel out the land. Before these people that lived deeper into the jungle even contacted them, though, through their native trade routes, they passed the diseases that they had caught from these the conquistadors before the conquistadors even came to the kingdom. So then, when the other kingdoms started trying to move in, they found all these open lands where the native population had obviously been for hundreds of years, but were now just gone, and there were just scrap bands of nomadic people left because their population was completely wiped out before. I mean, we didn't conquer the native people of North and South America with warfare strictly. We diseased them.
Biological warfare, maybe.
Yeah, hundreds of years before we even contacted them. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, incredible. I was blown away to hear that. It used to be a continent with millions and millions of people on it, and they were just wiped out by things like smallpox and other European diseases that they had no protection against. It's just incredible.
The name of that lake is Lake Maracaibo, and has lightning averaging 300 nights a year over the lake.
Wow. It's almost like a perpetual storm.
Right?
It's in Venezuela, known as, I'm going to try this with a Spanish accent. Let me see. Rilamampengo del Catatumbo. The storm is located where the Catatumbo River flows into Lake Maracaibo. Warm air from the Caribbean meets the cold air from the mountains, creating the perfect condition for lightning. Nifty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually genuinely fascinating.
There's some cool places on this planet still. I wonder if we can find a video of it. Cause I bet it goes it rages for hours too. Let me see if I can pull one up. I'll share it. Catatumbo lightning. Here we go. We'll watch this. We will. And this is BBC, so I'm going to stop it like every 15 seconds so I don't get a strike and we can comment, so.
Could be worse, could be edgy.
La primera vez que fui allí y
when I first went
nos
there,
sorprendió la noche allí en BumbleBre's. Y para mí fue
get to the lightning, okay.
¿Por qué? Porque por vez primera ese momento.
I'm just going to mute him. I don't need to hear your...
You can also put it at a higher speed. Well, I think you already did.
Yeah, it should be... Oh, nope, it's still at normal speed. We'll do it at twice the speed. Look at that. Wow.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
Oh. Is it going to show the storm going crazy?
Next.
Oof. It does that for like all night long, though. I wish it would show just a long chain of them, just constantly.
I remember I read an article about like the new world record, like longest lightning bolt that was observed, which you have to use satellites for because it was like a single connected discharge, and it spans some absurd number of miles, like triple digits. It was crazy long.
Wow.
Like hundreds of miles, thousands of miles.
Not thousands. It wasn't thousands, but it was. I think it was over 100.
That's crazy. Well, there's been people that have been hit by lightning like on a clear day, right? That have been.
Yeah,
like,
you just get random bolts from the blue. They're called. A bolt stretching nearly 800 kilometers across 3 states now holds the record for the longest lightning flash.
Whew. That's incredible. Well, let's see. This is going to get some statistics about this lightning here. Let me unmute it.
Has since declared it Earth's lightning capital.
Oh, I got to slow it down or we're not going to be able to pick out what he's saying.
Catatumbo's 250 lightning flashes per square kilometre every year equates to a staggering total of 1.6 million bolts of lightning annually.
Wow.
Most experts estimate that lightning strikes over Catatumbo roughly 140 to 160 nights a year, with flashes often.
That's different than the statistics that we just heard, too, though, right? 300 nights a year is what it said, but that did say up to 300 nights a year. It didn't say on average. Right. Average, I don't know. So.
Do you know this place is like sort of you know how they film like Foley for like films and TV shows and games and stuff. This would be like perfect for just getting like the perfect lightning clap.
Yeah, getting some B-reel of a whole bunch of lightning activity. It would be a great just to go there and just wait.
You guys, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you guys just like go away there and wait for hours, like just recording. But go ahead.
Yeah, are you guys familiar with Pico's Hank, the YouTube channel? He's a storm chaser in the U.S.
Oof.
No, I'm not.
Chases tornadoes and stuff. Wow,
yeah, chases tornadoes and stuff. Has some beautiful footage.
I think I've come across him before.
He's got a decently successful and big like YouTube channel because he's also just like, you can tell just by looking at him, you're like, this is a cool dude.
Right. You'd have to be super chill, right? You know.
Yeah, but like one time he came across this awesome. Let me see if I can find it actually.
I know there was one I watched where like they had no choice but to like stop their vehicles and like anchor down and just hope that the storm would pass, and then it changed. The tornado, I think, changed course suddenly, and it came literally right over them. So they got this footage of like going into the eye of the tornado. It just like the storm swirling around them. I can't remember what channel that was on, but I remember watching that, and that was fascinating.
Yeah, it's been a lot. This is some here.
I do like storms when I'm not in them, like when I'm inside and roped up and stuff. I do like storms, but
yeah, they can be pretty neat. So I put a link in the private chat. I don't know if Bree is currently here.
No, it looks like Bre's gone somewhere.
Apparently, Bree loves lamp.
Mm.
Don't we all love lamp?
I just stepped away for a second.
I think this might be the one I've seen.
So because this one's just like it's relatively short, and it's
pretty.
Just a couple of incredibly photogenic tornadoes.
There we
What
go.
is that?
It's pretty.
Yeah. But there was also this other one where he had like 2 tornadoes and they were like orbiting each other.
They were dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the channel I've seen before. I think it's a channel called Reed Timmer. They had some really cool like tornado inceptions.
Look at it. Look at the clouds pulling in. Did you see that?
Comes the hail.
Well, you're not streaming it, so.
Yeah, you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, the live chat can see it. You guys can't. Sorry.
Okay.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
I was on the wrong screen. Sorry. Well, you guys were watching.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. You want me to take the link over there? I can.
But no, here's the. But you can see him. He's like a cool dude with like the long hair. He's like a young Aaron.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. He looks like his pastime is being part of a heavy metal band.
There you go, right there. There's one right there and one right there.
That's amazing. I mean, and look at that. Like, look at how they're lit. Like, it's crazy.
Hold on.
Look at that. It's so cool.
I got a joke. The 2 genders.
He does tend to call those things like funnel clouds that are like teasing you but aren't really doing anything. He just calls them like saggy, old, droopy nipples.
Droopy nipples from the sky.
Yep.
This is the where I was talking about see him stuck in the clouds in. I think he gets over here. So what is this like? Is this a smaller tornado over here?
It's a satellite. It's a satellite
yeah.
vortex.
So what direction is it going?
Generally they go cyclonically.
No. Not in the northern hemisphere, they don't.
The cyclonically is a verb. I could be wrong about this, for the record. It's my understanding that it's an adjective, rather, that changes which side it actually means, if it means clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on which hemisphere you're on. It's like the way that a hurricane would go is the way a cyclone goes, because that's different on either hemisphere, right?
I thought a cyclone always went anti-clockwise. Maybe that's because I'm from the southern hemisphere. Maybe that's what I've always thought. Weird. Okay. What cyclonically? I've never heard that used.
I could be wrong about this, but
don't they generally travel northeast too? North by northeast.
Yeah. So according to dictionary.com, it describes a direction of rotation that is counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. So cyclones go clockwise in the southern hemisphere, I guess. I can never remember.
And undefined at the equator. That's so weird. So a word that's undefined depending on where you are.
Now that you mention it, that is super fascinating. Linguistically, that's so weird.
What would happen if a tornado crossed the equator?
Well, a tornado is like going to be governed by its local thing. And generally it is the case that tornadoes, at least the biggest, most powerful tornado in a bunch, generally those are going to be cyclonic because they're generally going to be in the same direction as the mesocyclone of the thunderstorm that is powering them. And those are large enough that they typically form and are influenced by the Coriolis effects, but they're not that large. So you can have them go and spin the other way.
But
because they're not.
Yeah.
They're
rare.
Yeah, they're not exactly, but they're not huge like hurricanes.
Hurricanes regularly cross the equator, though. That's part of their formation process, right? Crossing the.
No, they generally form
off the coast of Africa in the southern hemisphere.
North and then travel north, or form just south and then I think travel south. I think
it's sort of like it is. Well, would it be sort of the same thing as like if you're in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, the water will go down the black hole?
Sorry, what was just on the screen there? What you just like? No, it showed the thing on the. So this is a huge tornado. This those are tiny subvortices. That's the size of the tornado. It's huge. It's horrifically destructive and dangerous, and most of the time they look like just dark masses of confusion, and you have no idea where they are.
Moving towards you,
that's the scary thing. Like, especially if you get to like F4, F5 scales, like you just think it's just like a bad storm ahead, and you don't actually realize you're driving headlong into a tornado,
into something that will scrape. And F5 is defined by its ability to completely remove well-constructed, stout buildings, completely wipe them clean from their foundations.
They're often called the finger of God.
Yeah, that's exactly what my friend always used to say. He's like, this is God's middle finger going down and being like, I'm going to just say, screw this particular area.
Well, they bounce along, too. They don't just... they can for a little while, but they'll bounce over a building.
Yeah.
I was actually in a building that got hit by a tornado. It was scary as hell. Ripped the roof off and everything.
Wow. While you were in it?
Yeah, it was a steel frame building, so there wasn't much to it. It was scary.
Yeah.
I lived in Missouri, in Tornado Alley.
Damn, nature, you scary.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was put my employer out of business though for quite a while. Had to go find a different job.
Oof! Look at that.
Yeah, that's a great shot of the bottom chunk of a mesocyclone supercell thunderstorm. And they are some of the most efficient Carnot engines in the natural world, apparently.
Wow, look at that. Look how tight that's pulling in.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's an F-Zero, definitely.
They're one of those things that are gorgeous at a distance.
Oh, yeah.
You want to dance with one?
Really,
twins.
no.
They're twins.
Yeah, twins. Yeah.
Oh, those are mean, too. Those are big and dangerous.
And that whole thing, that whole space right there.
And the other thing is the exact same storm is sometimes captured. I think that's beautiful.
I like when they get all tight like that and it's just a ribbon.
So you can kind of understand why, ancient people had these misconceptions about what's causing them. They seem to be alive kind of thing. They seem to be directed.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, just that lightning?
I knew that lightning was going to happen because this was like...
I'm going to go back and rewind it and watch it again.
And that particular lightning is... You know what charge it is because of how it doesn't have a whole lot of branching and it's very smooth. He's got a whole video on lightning.
Right there. Boom. Just one solid... It almost looks like it's mimicking the ribbon.
Right? Exactly. It was the same shape. It was like a gentle S. Oh, that's a great shot. Oh, go back a moment. So, and pause it. So if you pause it right there, You can also use the arrow keys if you've got them on your keyboard.
Oh, well, yeah, but it keeps popping, jumping past it though.
Oh yeah. So
if you pull up, you can go frame by frame. Like if you move
with
the slider up, you can.
So that sort of, you see that sort of tail of cloud at the bottom right.
Yeah.
What's amazing is if you look at that, you can see that air goes into that region and then it just forms a cloud spontaneously. It's just sucking the moisture right out of the air. And no, I mean all the way at the right.
Oh, this all the way.
Yeah,
over
that
here.
thing. That's like, it's like that's
this
like
whole
where
thing
the
is
air
fueled by
is
this
sucked into it, and then it's
kicking all that moisture, all the water that's sucking up, and all that water from the air. It's kicking it up and making this cloud, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that releases a lot of heat, and then that rises, and when it starts to rotate, the whole thing happens more efficiently, and it can just suck in more. And because it's got such low pressure, the water comes out of the air and turns into water little droplets, and it just keeps doing that. And at the top of the cloud, you have these huge balls of hail that are being just sustained by updrafts from this vortex of awesomeness that just more or less spontaneously formed 5 hours earlier. Like, you can watch
bigger and bigger.
They nucleate out of nothing on satellite imagery. It's amazing.
Fascinating.
Oh, Willy Wonka Big Badonka says, imagine how massive the tornadoes on Jupiter are. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, imagine the thunderstorms on Venus. That's just
acid rain, right?
Insane.
I mean, the longest storm ever observed by humans is the Great Red Spot on Jupiter.
Right.
It's still going. I think it's starting to
can't
dissipate
Earth
a little
fit
bit,
into that red spot? Like Earth would fit into it, kind of thing.
Yeah, a few times over. It's quite large.
Look at this big boy right here. That road's going right into it too. Is he going to stay on the road? No, he's turning around.
That's a nope.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that you have to be really careful with tornadoes because they can just change course just like that.
Well, yeah, on these country roads like this, you might not have an option to go anywhere else for 8 or 9 miles.
Yeah.
And you're driving on gravel, moving at, you're limited, maybe 45, 50 miles an hour on most vehicles. You can probably go faster.
Yeah, and there's a lot of land out there, just a lot of land, and you can't trust the maps to always have it all right.
This one's not even touching down. Oh, there it goes. That was satisfying. I want to watch that again. Because you see it trying right there?
Yeah.
Come on, you can do it. And then right
just touch it, right before it changes shot. It just touches down with that small little whisper.
This is amazing. Like, you can see the different vortices in that.
Yeah.
And look at how well lit that is. That exact same tornado could look like a just black ball of death from a different angle.
Is this a sub vortex right here? You said the one over on this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if.
Oh, shit. Look, whoa. What's going on here? Look at all these vehicles. Holy shit.
They're probably all storm chasers.
And it just evaporates.
That's Dodge City. Ooh, that's what you're talking about. It'll be looking like a black wall.
Yeah.
That's menacing.
Right? It's like this is one of those examples where I'm like, why are you still driving?
Yeah.
You're going the wrong way.
It's just a little wind. It'll be all right.
That's the satellite probably on the other side.
Would the tornado lift the car? I mean, I doubt that could lift the car, right? I mean,
they can lift a car.
Yeah.
Can they?
Yeah.
Yes.
They can lift a building.
Yes, they can absolutely. The strongest tornado winds ever recorded, I think, are comfortably in excess of 250. I could be wrong. They're definitely miles per hour. Sorry, that even though I am a scientist, I still, unfortunately,
suffer from Americanism.
Yeah.
Okay, so the heaviest thing a tornado was ever documented to pick up was in Pampa, Texas. Tornado moved machinery that weighed more than 30,000 pounds.
Woo!
Yeah.
Whether it was slid or
right
picked
here.
up,
Look at this,
know.
Mark. Look at what's on screen.
I don't know what that is in kilos yet. Whoa! Whoa! Okay.
That was a building.
Yes.
That
is an X building.
And I believe this was Picos Hank's footage. He was one of the closest people. I like what he does. That looks like CGI. Didn't that look like CGI?
Yeah, especially with the satellites. Yeah. How they.
Yeah. So I've just looked it up.
That one.
I've just looked it up. So the highest recorded wind speed in a tornado via Doppler radar was 302 miles per hour.
Damn.
In 1999 in Bridge Creek, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma. They've got bad luck.
Okay, so 30,000 pounds is 13.6 tons. That is horrifying.
Yeah.
Look
at
how skinny it is down there and how thick it is up there.
Yeah, but the tornado is not defined by
thickness?
by its opacity, by how, because the reason it looks like that is just that it's so low pressure that any amount of moisture is just getting pulled out of the air and into little droplets. And when the vortex is frustrated a little bit and they dissolve suddenly, it's because you don't have the super localized low pressure anymore, and the moisture evaporates back into the air.
Okay.
But I mean that looks like sheets of rain that are doing funky weird things. That's super odd.
Yeah. I always assumed that it was just the particulates that it picks up from like dust and stuff that makes it dark, and if it hasn't touched down to.
I think it's a mix actually. I think it's a mix of both like dirt and moisture.
Yeah, it is. It is the stuff that you see at the beginning before it. So like you have like the inner column and that's like a cloud, and then the outer column is dust.
Wow.
I don't know. If I lived in like Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, if I lived in Tornado Alley, I'd really be thinking about moving right now after watching that. I mean, we don't get tornadoes where I am, but that is
I'm
horrifying.
Over here. Tornado Alley is right here. But we get tornadoes. I mean, we just don't get these.
Where are you? You're in
see the Mississippi right in here? I'd be right behind his head. So
you're like north of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am.
He also has a lightning video. You should check out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys and gals, I must bid you adieu because it is currently 1:30 in the morning for me.
Oh goodness! All right, get some sleep, Sam. Thank you for coming in. Yay, 1,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody.
Congrats.
It's good to meet you, Sam. Really good to meet you, mate.
Yeah, good to meet you too. I've seen you on Donnie's channel quite a bit, so it's nice to sort of meet you
Mark's
one-on-one.
blowing up. He's all over.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I get everywhere. Yeah,
at least. How many debates did you do this week? Was it just one?
A couple, I think.
Because I know I like saw bits of one, but even myself. And maybe you can defend me to Maya in the future.
Okay.
But
why?
Because she thinks that my desire and enjoyment of engaging with flat Earth content is problematic, and I ain't got it as bad as you.
It's
so fun though. It's fun and funny.
I don't know. I think that if you do go in, you have to be aware at just how toxic they can be. I mean, my debate against a flat earther, I think it would be, what would it be, last night or 2 nights ago for you guys? He really was really obnoxious, and it was very frustrating. I was very frustrated. So,
was he Nathan Thompson obnoxious?
No, it was some dude called Flatzoid, and he's one of those people
I watched
that
a bit of that, and I was like,
childishly
you were mislabeled as Flatzoid during it. Like, on the screen, you were Flatzoid, and he was Mark Reed. It was funny.
Yeah, that's because I accidentally pushed the wrong button and sort of, I accidentally quit out, like, just trying to get something on the screen, but and then I came back in and was Flatzoid for the rest of the debate, so that was amusing. But I really dislike people that make gestures when you're talking, kind of thing. So he was sort of going like this and stuff while I was talking, dude.
I completely agree, Mark. I mean, the level of some people who are on I know that me and you obviously disagree in terms of beliefs about God and things like that. That's fine. Sure. That's not neither here nor there. But like what we try and do at Creation Research is have like a welcoming environment for everyone. Whether it's atheists,
unless Sam's in the side chat.
Atheists or agnostics or believers or Muslims, Sikh, Buddhists, whatever. And I try and keep that really civil and nice, and that so I'm there are times where I've had to intervene even with my own crowd, where there's quite a lot of sort of like ham-fisted sort of bashing
I was not talking about you, Sam. I was talking about Sam. He's the only person who ever gives me a hard time in your side chat. What's his name?
Redefine Living.
Redefine
Living.
Yeah. So he's very he's something. But Sam, the same goes the other way. I mean, sometimes you do hear atheists and agnostics say a lot that Christians do this, and it's like, well, no, that's not true. It's not all, like I think there's a tendency to overgeneralize on both sides and misrepresent on both sides. And I think that, and there are individuals that I would describe from the Christian side as incredibly toxic, but there's individuals I would describe from the atheist side as incredibly toxic as well. So, I appreciate that, and I mean, there's people in Standing for Truth that are very welcoming, like Doki Doki Literature Club, I think.
He's a regular with ours as well.
Super welcoming to me, and I really enjoy talking to them. So,
you would like their side chat, Mark. I think they have who all do you have over there? You have it's you and then Joe we've got
Joe Hubbard, John Mackay, we've got Craig Hawkins, who's based in Tassie. We've got Dr. Diane Eager. We've also got Glenn Wilson as well. He's a soil scientist from the US. It's quite interesting to have his sort of take on things as well. So that's sort of like the panel. And then they
answer questions if you go in there too. They'll answer your Q&A.
Every single live stream we answer questions, whether it's on topic or off topic, and we have even Q&A streams as well, where literally it's just answering questions. And we've got quite a few people in this sort of side chat. We've got quite a few atheists who view on a regular basis. We've got a gentleman who's a very nice gentleman called Ravi, who's more of an agnostic. Leaning more towards atheist. He's very, very nice. And we've got sort of the regular sort of crowd of.
And what channel was that, Sam?
Creation Research.
I do apologize, man.
Can you drop a link?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll drop a link.
That'd be great, actually.
Do you have a wrench out there, Sam? I think you do.
Do I?
I meant in the private chat, but.
Oh, well, drop it for my live chat.
Either or, it doesn't matter. I've got chat open as well.
We can.
Yeah, you need to have a wrench though, right?
I'll drop it in the private chat so then you can post it in.
Okay, thank you.
So there we go. I'll copy and paste that in there for you guys. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our YouTube channel. But yeah, we just try and have we try and put in like really interesting toppings. You can tell I'm tired.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so
go on.
I was just going to ask: Are you a young Earth creationist?
Personally, I am. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm not here to sort of
No, that's fine.
That's not the, yeah, we can talk about other stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I appeared on do you know Paleologos?
Yes, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah, I appeared on his channel and we had like an hour-long conversation about the second law of thermodynamics and how it is inappropriately used by creationists. And he's also a young Earth creationist, and we have our disagreements, and he has disagreements with many in the community. But so
but I mean, you guys in the chat watching or on the panel, whatever, feel free to stop over. We stream every Friday. Mark, that would be at sort of 5-6 a.m. your time.
Everybody on the panel is super nice. Again, I can't say everybody's always super nice in the chat, but we all like a little spice in our chat. Who am I kidding? I like to see people getting a little friction. I had a little friction in my chat yesterday, so it's always a good time. But thank you so much for coming in, Sam, because it's rare that I get like one of my young Earth friends in here with my atheist friends, because I'm friends with you and friends with, like you was talking about, Peter. I'm friends with Rebecca, which people not everybody agrees with, but I'm also really good friends with Cindy Lincoln, which is Kent's ex-wife. So yeah. I have a lot of.
Rebecca seems nice. Rebecca seems nice. I've never really engaged with her much, but she seems nice.
Well, Jay Bundy doesn't like her.
Look, Jay's doing his thing, and he's doing sort of his wrestling thing and stuff, and I'm not sure how I'm not sure how much he actually leverages that. You'd have to, ask him or whatever. A game? But, I think part of it is. I know that part of it is because I know Jay, and he loves the he loves the trash talk of wrestling and that stuff, and I mean that's what he's like, and I wouldn't do that myself. I understand that he's doing something his way, and
No,
I like Jay.
Yeah, I get along good with Jay. I'm probably going to go for about 15 more minutes, so I got to get in the shower here. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the shilling then. I think Sam already did his little shill there. You got anything coming up, Mark? Any debates that we need to know about?
I'm trying to get stuff organized. I'd love to do more debates. If Sam, if you've got anyone that wants to debate, I'm more
I mean, feel probably the best sort of place for us would be on SFT. So if you contact Donnie and just ask to debate either Joe or John or both or whatever you want to do,
can we do me and Mark versus John and Joe?
Do you know what? Actually, that might be really interesting.
So I haven't ever been on a debate on SFT before.
And I've never been in a debate with you, Bree.
Yeah,
I've never done interesting.
I've never done pair debates at all.
Let's do it. That sounds like a great idea.
I can't imagine doing a pair debate with somebody I didn't know some level of how I would be able to play off them.
Well, I said I'd never done pair. I did a pair debate with Rubik over on Amy Newman's channel, and actually ended up getting a debate with Rubik instead of the person I was supposed to be debating. That was my partner in the debate. We ended up disagreeing about, I think, the definition of a monkey, whether apes are monkeys or not. So yeah, that's what we got into it about. I'm holding you up, Sam. I know you were wanting to get to bed, so I'll let you say your last piece. You don't have to hang around for all of our shills if you don't want to. But
no, I was just going to say, feel free to drop in, stream every Friday/Saturday morning if you're in Australia. Every 9 p.m. UK time, and then you can extrapolate that to your time zone.
Sure.
But yeah, have different topics and things like that. We welcome everyone. It'd be great to see some of the people in the chat and the panelists here to sort of interact with. I'm always chatting away to people.
Hello.
So feel free to chat. Oh, we've got.
Oh, so 9 p.m. is
back.
4 a.m. where I am. So that's horrifying. So I may not drop in at 4 a.m. But
we stream for around about 2 hours.
Okay.
So
if I'm up early, yeah, sure.
Time zones are evil. We should change them.
Why?
That wouldn't solve any of the problems.
Right.
Well,
daylight savings time is evil, though. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Daylight savings. I'm so glad we don't have it, but it annoys me whenever I have to calculate times anywhere else it does. So
yeah.
Fun fact. It's technically not plural. It's daylight saving time. I'm great at parties. Shut up.
Yeah,
yes, you are.
Yeah.
Let's throw stuff at the weasel.
Actually,
right.
I would actually, but I'm so weird. I find that fascinating that all my life I've used this name that's not correct, and it's like, that's actually interesting. Like, and everybody uses it that way.
Daylight saving time. Okay.
Yeah.
Saving.
Anyway.
Okay, but you didn't even finish. Yeah, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah, go, Sam.
I've got to go. But yeah, feel free to pop in. It'd be great to see people. Really super welcoming, and we've got Q&As every single stream, and we have dedicated Q&A streams. So bring your best questions, and we'll try and answer them as best we can. But yeah, it'd be great to see you guys, and I'll let other people shill their channels and stuff like that. But it's great to hang out.
I love your voice.
Oh, thank you.
You should have heard the what was it? Say this.
What was it called?
You had an excellent
Paranormal Rising.
It was excellent.
Yeah, what was the channel
not
called?
Like that. That was traumatic.
It was Paranormal Rising.
This is Paranormal Rising. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
You know what?
Wow.
You know what? Okay. I think we found a new honest thriller narrator.
Yeah.
This guy. In a world where the old narrator was replaced by a new one.
In a world where Mark Reed must defend his beliefs against creationists.
Oh, wow. We can cut that and use that as your intro now.
That was really good.
Nice, yeah.
God,
that was a regular LaFontaine right there.
And I still haven't done an ad for you, Brie. I got to admit, it's been crazy lately. So, yeah.
Yeah. Bring it. I need one from you.
I know. I just don't really know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Come on.
I need just at least a super
Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Nobody knows what they're doing, and the people who do are generally supervillains.
That's true.
I don't think they know either.
That's true.
No, but
well, I was not a supervillain until I tried to fly over Crater Lake.
Well, I mean, it's just like trying to fly over like the Bermuda Triangle. Like, there's some things you just don't do.
That's my villain origin story. All right, Mark, what debates you got coming up? Come on.
I don't really have any debates planned at the moment.
No, he has too many. He can't name any.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
How about you? You'll be back next weekend, is that right? With Maya doing whatever you all decide to do next Sunday. Am I right, Dr. Tapioca Weasel? Yep.
Yeah. So, generally speaking, Maya and myself, the ubiquitous mod of all of the chats, we do like a reaction thing where she typically selects the video and then the two of us react to it together, and I don't learn the topic until the day of, and it varies. We've done cryptids, we've done ghost stories, we've done Hollow Earth. What was that?
Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, like all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. It's fun.
What did
and
you
we
do?
go
You
for
did
about
some
2
kind
hours.
of,
Generally at 9:30 Eastern on Sunday evenings.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but that'll be back next week. Midnight, I know you're just popping in, but was there anything that you wanted to show? I know you've been streaming here lately.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me on to, like, the last 2 minutes.
It's good to see you, Midnight. I feel like I haven't seen you for ages. It's good to see you.
It's good to see me too, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So as far as me,
can I just chill one more thing?
Go for it, please.
I do something I call aimbot, which is Am I Morally Bankrupt or Them, which is sort of, we go on to Reddit's Am I the Asshole and see, and apply secular humanism to see who's right and wrong, which gets kind of funny at times.
I mean, I'm always the asshole.
Well, it's always lighthearted.
You get to vote too when you're in the side chat. You get to vote on the polls. So
yeah.
By the way, I gained 2 subscribers apparently. I was at 228.
Nice.
Yeah, I was at 228.
Didn't know you were starting up a channel, Midnight. I didn't.
Well,
know.
I've had a channel for years.
Really? Okay.
No, we've gained some subs as well. We've got to 3.42 now, as opposed to 3.41.
I just don't stream as much.
Congratulations.
You could have fractions of a sub.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's in thousands, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, you can have fractions, thousands.
Oh well, see, I'm here. Hold on, where am I at? I'm at 11.
Oh, 11.
Probably because I don't have any content.
Oh my gosh, what the heck happened?
11,000? That's amazing.
Where'd I get all these channel members at? I just noticed a whole bunch of people using the emojis out there, and I'm like, holy crap! I got.
Oh yeah, I gifted 5 subs. Like,
okay, let me just say welcome to all the new channel members. Just saying thank you. Okay, obviously.
By the way, new channel members or anybody, you should honestly try gifting subs. It is problematic how much of a dopamine boost it is. It's amazing. It feels so good.
You can actually gift subs.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, well, you can gift memberships.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
it's the same sort of thing. It's like in on Twitch. If you gift a sub, it's the same sort of thing.
I'll show you
on YouTube.
I'll show you.
Oh, he's going to do it again, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
I'm just going to do it.
I
have been waiting for Bree. I have been waiting for Bree to get monetized and have gifts, because buying gift subs on channels is like kind of my thing. Because I'm single and my main expense is nothing, so I just spend a lot of money on YouTube. And so now what people have to do is they have to go and they have to click, okay, so above the chat there's the thing, and people need to enable the memberships. And a lot of people don't know that you have to enable memberships.
What, do you click on it or something? Or...
So you click on the little present, and it'll have like an option or something. But also they will get like awarded to people as they go on. But there are 17 people watching according to my thing, so it absolutely people. You gotta go on and you gotta enable the memberships. I just gifted 5 memberships.
Yeah,
and then we can all use the fun emojis, which I will say, I use a dark theme, and so some of them are a little tough to make out.
I gotta make some emojis, and I don't know how to do that. And what emojis would I have? Like a bald head and stuff.
You
like
can do
that.
different facial expressions too.
There's the you could do your own take on. There's a Twitch. No, the meme of Jackie Chan doing that really like brain hurt sort of.
Oh yeah,
you could do that.
And there's Total Biscuit as well. The one where someone's sitting back and going like that, and smiling kind of thing. Yeah. So you're right, Sam. There's a few I could do. Yeah,
there's some memes. Yeah,
we got Regios over here who apparently isn't eligible.
What? Why? They're not subscribed.
Because he had to buy it himself.
Welcome.
What a champion, though.
So, yeah, the spider one, the legs you can't really see very good on the dark background. The Mothman
to the fly.
The Mothman and the Mantis ones look pretty good though.
Yeah, the Mantis is
It's the
pretty sweet.
Spider and the beetle that look a little. Of course, the hornet is.
You know, I'm trying to imagine what Mark would look like with hair. I don't know. I just can't.
Picture Mark with like big hair metal hair, like big 80s hair.
Right. Hey, I'll get a wig and wear it one day. How about that?
Oh, God.
And then you can. Oh, hang on. Do I have any pictures of me when I'm younger on this computer? Is the big question.
Ox, do you actually have alts? This is not to anybody on the panel. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're talking to Ox in the chat.
Yeah, Ox in the chat, but the fact that I just without putting that in any context, just said that onto a panel where I'm one of five. Sorry, I just got self-conscious for like the weird and abrupt way in which I suddenly diverted the conversation.
Well, I'll do that too. Don't worry about it. I'll start talking to the side chat.
Yeah, but it's your channel.
Verbally. It's never my channel when I do it because I never have. This is the first time I've ever had a panel with more than just me and one other person on, like in forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't done that since back when I was still brain bug.
Five guys, burgers and fries. God, I'm checking out that right now. Actually, no, I need to go on a diet.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap things up here. Any final words from anybody?
Congratulations.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Well earned.
It's so good. Right. It's so good to see. And how do you feel about it? Like, what are your feelings at the moment?
Oh, right now I'm pretty ecstatic about it. I like all the new features. I like making I had emojis ready that I was stacking up. So I'm gonna hammer them out, release some more of them tonight because we broke some milestones. So thanks to Dr. Tapioca Weasel and the gifts that he be given. You're an amazing friend. You know that?
People should do that just like every once in a while. It feels so good, especially when it's for somebody awesome like Bree. Huh?
How do you even do that?
You click. It's by the super chat button. Do you know how to send a super chat?
Yes. Let me go.
Okay, you have to prove that you know how to send a super chat because I don't believe you.
You hit the dollar.
See, you see what I did there?
Yeah.
This is how you shill for super chats. You get an adorable little weasel in the center of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Super sticker, super chat, membership.
Now see, we got Regios. You see, and he know right or they. I don't want to assume actually.
Regio says he him.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't remember for sure. Just gifted 5 subs.
And just anybody out there who's if you're on the Patreon and you just want to support on one or the other, you don't have to support on both. You're certainly free to support on both. I'm not trying to discourage you from that, but you'll get the same perks on either service.
Okay, maybe. Look, right now I'm at get access to membership perks. Right, $2.99 per month. Creepy Creeper, CreationWatch is $6.99, and HiveMind is $24.99. So if
grab one of those subs quick, or one of those they're not called subs, they're memberships.
Memberships, yeah. Like I call them subs because it's subs it's a one syllable abbreviation that generally people always understand. Whereas memberships does not have an obvious one syllable abbreviation.
Well, and on Twitch they're called that's called
sub, but I don't do Twitch.
Yeah. I don't
almost
do Twitch
ever.
Either. Yeah, they're free, guys. Grab one.
Yeah, you guys got to grab the subs. Grab a sub?
Dude, that is literally the only reason I'm still going is because there's still looks like 2 left.
Wait, Midnight.
Yeah.
What is your screen name?
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I just grabbed it. There you go. Athena, goddess of wisdom and warfare. I grabbed one.
How many are left? Does it tell us? I think there should be. It looks like
so. The other thing I will say, and I know this because of sometimes this happens on Dapper Dinosaur's channel, where enough gift subs get gifted that literally everybody in the chat has one now. If they're eligible, not all channels are eligible. If you're a brand account, you're not eligible.
There we go.
I don't even know what a brand account necessarily is.
You have to enable gifts. That's why I couldn't see.
Yeah, you got to do that too. Yeah. And for me, it normally just pops up with a window saying, "Hey, there are gifts in the chat. You can enable them. Gifts, would you like to?"
50 gifts, 50 memberships, 150, 149.50, 20 memberships. Wow.
Yeah, I basically either do 1 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, should I be an asshole and buy 50?
How would that make you an asshole? You should be a legend and buy 50. That would make you a legend.
Yeah, there's a presupposition in that statement that I don't think is warranted. Like, you know.
So hold on. I just want to answer this question because I was curious about it for a long time. Apparently, according to Dapper, what happens is if there aren't any more eligible people, when people go and click on your video, specifically this video, I bet it's any video though, people who are just watching the next day and they go and click and watch one of your videos, they will receive the membership if they have the memberships enabled.
Like you'll automatically receive it?
So like they still get divvied out.
Something. Like if you
they still get divvied out, and in any case, like
if I went over to Matt Powell's channel and someone had a gifted son. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You have to enable them. In my experience, you have to enable them manually on each new channel, which is actually a little annoying because. Until you just said that just now, I didn't really know of an example of a channel that I would be that problematic. Like I would be really upset if I got a membership without signing up for it.
Until I gave you a name?
Until you gave me that name. Because I've been I was thinking like Nathan Thompson. Like, yeah. The guy's like really like low.
And yeah, and he's probably transphobic too, but I don't know.
But Matt Powell is like, you know, at the bottom of the Drake heap, really.
Down there with Steven Anderson and yeah.
I mean, who would be transphobic against Bree? She's so adorable. How can you be?
But not just that. It's not just transphobia. It is the solution to transphobia that the guy proposes that makes him the bottom.
Well, not just transphobia either. It's against all queer people.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, it's his sort of what he's proposing for it that makes him the absolute. You know, when somebody is proposing to kill people as a solution to what they see as a problem, when those people are doing nothing, you know, that is somebody that is has lost their moral compass completely. Like they're gone.
It's the final solution proposal. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, the interestingly, that the Nazis already kind of did that. They did round up gay people and the queer community and put them in camps. And in fact, the death rate was the highest sort of percentage-wise among the gay community in Germany in the death camps than any other demographic.
There was a lot of gender study and research that was lost too in the book burnings that we're just now starting to catch up on some of the stuff that they figured out back then.
I hate book burnings with a passion.
Yeah.
Endocrinology. I remember I did it was like a presentation for I was at college, which is the American high school, and we had to do it was part of our acting sort of program that we were doing, that we were doing a play. It was set during the Olympics in Berlin, around the time of the war, and we had to, because there was a lot of like Nazi sort of imagery and things like that. We were all given sort of tasks to do research about different topics and things like that. And mine was given about Kristallnacht and the final solution. And so part of that was doing a lot of heavy research into sort of, what the Nazis essentially did. And quite a lot of people don't actually realize that there were, there were gypsies, there were gays, there were blacks as well. People of color.
Sam, real quick before I don't know if you realize, but gypsies actually is considered a slur now.
I do apologize.
Romani is what they Okay. And it's fine. I have actually a person in my regular visit my live chat that's Romani. So.
I apologize. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good. I appreciate you acknowledging it and being like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So cool.
Well, it was like was it Romani? Was it?
Yep, Romani. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That the Romani community, the gays, blacks, people of color, were included in the final solution that Hitler purported, and and they sort of don't really get mentioned. People just think about the 6 million Jews, and they don't really sort of think about that, which I think is really sad. Because they were just as much as victims as the Jews were, which is just horrible.
A lot of demographics were subject to the Nazi tyranny. It's disgusting.
But we're past that now, I like to think. Hopefully.
I hope so all the time. All right. Well, I keep saying I'm going to close it out and then we get to talking again, but I think I'm going to shut it down for real. I see Dr. Josh has showed up again to issue a challenge when it's been my understanding that, as far as I can tell, that there's nothing recorded or on record at all of Dr. Josh Bowen ever instantiating the fundamental grounding in his atheist worldview for the source of all things, right? It's just never been documented. I'm going to end on that. I'm going to tell everybody out there to be kind, take care, and I will see you next time.